basically write his own check and go coach somewhere else. He's a highly sought after and highly thought of guy. I mean, you look around this roster, it's just like there's just so much uncertainty. And then you've got Quinn Hughes at under $8 million until 2027-28. And it's like, what's one of the best assets in the entire NHL? And yet the clock is running on that. The clock is running constantly. The sand is falling out of the hourglass constantly in this league. If you don't have it together, it's going to cost you. And right now the Canucks just don't have it together.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about tonight's matchup. Demko going to get the start in net, and Demko was a big storyline. I mean, we talked about all the storylines that the Canucks have had this year. Demko was one really early on. Remember, is he injured? Was he playing? What's he doing? It was just one of many storylines that the Canucks were kind of keeping under wraps. But he's 5-0 versus the Leafs all time here at home, with the 201 goals against and a 952 save. And he's in the last 4, he started now, he's getting back into his groove. He started 4 of the last 5 Canucks games and 8 of the last 11. And in the last 2, he stopped 58 of the last 59 shots in his last 2 starts. So he's on a little bit of a groove right now. Previously, though, he wasn't. He was allowing 16 goals in his last 4 starts, but then he's kind of turned it around. So things looking good for Demko, which is important for the Canucks. Kevin Lankinen was a great story. Like this, they had
he kept their head above water.
Definitely. But if Demko can come back into form and be Demko, this team has some opportunity at hand. But we were looking at the pregame stats, and the Canucks will have one of the toughest schedules now moving forward. And I wonder how that factors into our thoughts on if they're going to trade Pettersson, if they're going to make a playoff push, if they're going to be sellers or stand by or buyers, because Leafs, on the other hand, will have the will have the easiest schedule going forward. Like, what a nice treat. When does that ever happen, where the Leafs get the easiest schedule for the remainder of the season, which is a lot of games? Canucks with one of the hardest. I think that's an interesting point going into tonight's game and the break ahead.
It certainly will. And yeah, I mean, that means something clearly for the playoff race. But you can also condense that. A subsection of that is what's to come ahead of the trade deadline, which means this game is not more important than what's to come, but maybe more instructive of what you're going to be, what you're going to do, what the plans are for the deadline. There's a 2-week break coming up ahead of a early March deadline. Like, we are running out of games ahead of the deadline. We're not running out of time. Sand, hourglass, still at a reasonable level. But in terms of things that are going to actually tell GMs what to do based on shift to shift, game to game, period to period, whatever, like, we're running out of that time. And this is another key data point for both the Maple Leafs and Canucks as they try to plan and plot for the future. It's a little more simple in Toronto. Do they or don't they bulk up before the deadline because they're going to the playoffs and they're going to be, one of a handful of teams that can make some noise? It's not as set in stone with Vancouver Canucks. And again, they've been on a nice little run lately, but they've got to keep winning to hold their spot because it's pretty competitive out there in the wild card streets.
Yeah, you talk about the Leafs maybe bulking up. There's been a lot of talk around, obviously, them adding a center and Scott Laughton's name back in the trade.
Bring me a Scott Laughton.
I was a big Scott Laughton guy when we saw him the game before the Christmas break. I think Philly was in town. Yeah, it looks like that's a name the Leafs are circled within. A couple insiders mentioning it. But Luke Fox had a great article at sportsnet.ca, and it's one of his quick shifts. So there's like 16 points, so half of a 32 kind of thing. And he had
Elliot has the trademark on 32.
Yeah, he's just got like smaller version of it. He's asking the question kind of about a Cousins or a Braden Shen.
Braden Shen is fascinating.
And he wrote it's going to go up on sportsnet.ca and check it out, but he's got quick shifts. Should Maple Leafs trade for Cousins or Shen? And I was like,
I mean, those are two completely different guys.
Those are so different, Luke.
Completely different
he's
guys.
got the middle six center, St. Louis, Braden Shen, $6.5 million through 2028. Or Dylan Cousins, who's a young pup. Sorry. I was thinking of different Cousins. Those are different guys. I was thinking of the different Cousins, though. Who's the other cousin?
The rat who played for Florida.
Oh, no, sorry. Dylan Cousins.
Yeah, Nick Cousins.
Dylan Cousins, $7.1 million through 2030.
The rat. Excuse me. He's a rat type, but that was a little mean.
His family might be listening.
He's a rat type.
Yeah. Rat adjacent. Yeah. So Dylan Cousins and Braden Shen are just two names.
Species of rodent.
Two names that Luke throws in his article, but he explains that it's going to be very difficult to get one of those guys because they have no 2025 first rounder. And to land something like that might be talking Easton Cowan, Fraser Minton, the 2026 first rounder. Like you're not going to get a piece like that without getting something, sending something back in return, and also opening up cap space. But those are some interesting names.
So Braden Shen is on year 5 of 8 at a $6.5 million cap hit. He's the captain of the St. Louis Blues. So in order to, make that move.
But he's a Berube guy.
He is. But St. Louis is going to have to be like, okay, like we clearly don't have it here and we're going in a completely different direction. I don't think they have it, but they just got Jim Montgomery in the fold. And,
I know.
You can make a couple tweaks. They didn't have it in 2019 either when they won
were
the Stanley
last
Cup.
place,
So
we remember.
that would be stunning if Braden Shen, I think it would have to come from Braden Shen in some ways, I feel like, right? Like, I think Braden Shen's probably met that level. Stanley Cup champion, captain of the team. I don't think you're going to blindside him like Anthony Davis style in order to get him into a different sweater. So if it comes from Braden Shen, though, it makes it a little easier, right? Because if they want to do something, he's like, you know what? I want to do something else too. Berube, not a hometown, but a Canadian kid who might want to play in a Canadian market. Like, I would be interested in that because that is a very manageable cap hit.
He would be that perfect fit in terms of like third line center?
Oh, third line center. Problem solved. You never have to worry about that again because you've got Matthews, Tavares, Shen through the middle of the ice. That is absolutely outstanding. Dylan Cousins a little different because I think he has to prove that he can do things at a high level. Like he's never had success. He makes $7 million, so slightly more.
And why would the Sabres send one of their young talents to the Maple Leafs?
Because they are waving the white flag on what they're doing, I guess, to a certain extent, too. But that does worry me in some regard.
It's bit them in the butt a bunch of times. Yeah, that's the problem.
Scott Laughton, though, $3 million. He's on the second to last a year of his contract, 4 of 5. That's the thing, though. Like, we talk about it with Elias Pettersson and what kind of asset he is. He is a player who can score 40 goals, but he also is currently way overpaid at the $11 million mark. Scott Laughton has one more year at $3 million and can fill your need for 2 years and then could potentially be re-signed by the team. So this is a guy who is not a guy who can score 40 goals in the league, but is a really strong asset because vis-a-vis the price tag of $3 million with some terms. So all these players have to be looked at very individually. I think Scott Laughton makes the most sense because I think he gives you that jam. He transforms or fixes the third line. He can push someone who doesn't belong on their place in the ladder, down the ladder a little bit more if that's a Max Domi type. He's not going to score a bunch of goals for you, but Scott Laughton is the type of guy who can make your third line serviceable, change the way it functions. I don't know if Nick Robertson can play with him. Bobby McMahon probably can. Max Pacioretty maybe can. Maybe Max Domi can, and that's just like a mean, kind of pesky third line that you don't really want to play against. But I would like to see the Maple Leafs do something, mortgaging the future, though, with the Cowan, Minton first. Like, it's going to have to be something beyond a rental, something beyond this season.
No rentals.
Something that fixes you or fixes issues now and for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I think it's fair to have, like, expectations that they're not going to swing for a rental and that they probably shouldn't, because I don't think that's not like their window closes if it's a 1 year or 2 year thing. But I do think you need to think about what you're giving up, right? So I don't know I don't know about Fraser Minton and Easton Cowan in this first round pick in 2026, but I do know that I feel really confident about the Leafs goaltending picture right now, and I haven't felt that way in a long time. So that's something to capitalize on, right? There's a lot of people that think, oh, well, this isn't the year to swing for it. I feel like it could be, like, with the understanding that, yes, you don't want to sell your future off, but they have really strong tandem right now with Stolarz and Wall. Austin Matthews and William Nylander and Mitch Marner and John Tavares are having great seasons. And, Jake McCabe and Brandon, Chris Tanev are shutting down on the back end. Like, those are pieces we didn't have in previous playoff pushes. So maybe it is worth it.
Joseph Woll will make $3 million more next year than he does this year. So that is some of the urgency, right? Like Anthony Stolarz locked in, but goaltending is going to cost more next year. Cap's going up. But again, this is the thing with the Leafs. Like, okay, the cap's going up and they can keep their team together, but everybody else gets to spend way more money. Like, eventually you have to continue making good moves in relation to the salary cap. And I think when you have an opportunity like they do this year, you got to consider going after it.
All right, we're getting closer and closer to puck drop. Leafs and Canucks. We will take a quick break. We'll get you set just about 10 minutes on the other side till we throw it to Jim and Joe. You're listening to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
The 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid is here, and it may sound too good to be true. With a 2-liter 4-cylinder backed by 2 electric motors, giving a combined 200 horsepower, it's our most powerful and fuel-efficient Civic ever. Plus, with an estimated range of over
What's up, hockey fans? How we doing tonight? Let's go Maple Leafs. We're going for 4 out of 4 on this West Coast trip against the Vancouver Canucks on Hockey Night in Canada. The best night of the week. Let's get the chat fired up. Cheers to all of you in the chat. So great to see you all. Let's have some fun. Let's cheer on our Maple Leafs loud. And hopefully, just hopefully, we'll complete this sweep before we go to the break for the 4 Nations Faceoff, which we'll be live for every single game right here on TSI. Oh yeah, and don't forget, we're live for the SickKids Football Frenzy finale right after the Raptors game tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. Eagles, Chiefs, who you got? We'll see you in the chat. Go Leafs, go.
Hey.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate online at carsforkids.ca. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll benefit a child and get a maximum tax credit.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today, and your car can be gone tomorrow.
25 years. That's a long time. 25 years of Alta Infinity? That's an exceptionally long time. They're exceptional. They deliver your new vehicle to your home or office. They pick up and drop off your Infinity for service. They deliver an exceptional Infinity experience. That's how you get to 25.
Alta Infinity. Excellence in motion. Find us at 5585 Highway 7 West, east of the 427. AltaInfinity.com.
Part of the Zankin Auto Group.
439 Pizza Nova. 439 Pizza Nova.
Ciao, Dominic Primucci here. The big game is the perfect time for our mouth-watering oven-baked pizzas, wedges, and wings. So from our family to yours, cheer on your favorite team and taste the difference.
Pizza Nova. 439 Pizza Nova. 439 Pizza Nova.
The snow conditions are here for what will be a great snowmobile season. And what could make it even better? How about the best offers we've ever had on Ski-Doo and Lynx snowmobiles? Hi, I'm Jean-Luc Lemire. Our best promotions are on. Choose 0% financing for 5 years or rebates of up to $3,000 off, or choose no payment for 6 months on all 2024 or 2025 Ski-Doos. The choice is yours, and the savings are the best we've ever had. Visit us at Energy Power Sports in Oakville today and ride now.
At Newboro, we develop unique plans so people can unlock the equity in their home. Unique like this one. It's called the Aaron and Catherine Plan. Aaron was in the middle of selling his small business and wanted to pay off some debt. Truth is, big banks are not too keen on small business. So we developed a plan that was the perfect fit. Because as we see it, you're anything but small. Reach out today. We'll work side by side to unlock the equity in your home.
Use your home to get a loan with Newboro.
License 13115.
Great goal! Let's go to Dave at the bench.
Oh, what a shot, Gord. Last time we spoke, you had been really tired. Not anymore.
Yeah, snoring all night. Losing sleep ruins your game.
Problem snoring? Suffer from sleep apnea? Invest in yourself. Call Dr. Paulette Pillersdorf. She'll use her laser to help treat your snoring and oral appliance like a sports mouth guard for your sleep apnea. Your partner will thank you.
Thanks, Gord.
Book your appointment with Dr. Paulette Pillersdorf. Call 647-243-2006.
This is Molson Leafs Hockey. On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. There's a Molson with your name on it.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert as we get you set for Leafs and Canucks. It's the final game before the Four Nations Faceoff break for the Leafs and the Canucks, and probably well-timed for some players that need a little rest and rehabilitation or a decision pending for someone like a Quinn Hughes, who will not be in the lineup tonight, and deciding if he will be in the lineup for Team USA in a few days.
Yeah, I think it is well timed for everyone. Like this is the area of the schedule where it's like, okay, it's beginning to drag a little bit, and you get that 2 week off. I think it's a big thing for pretty much every club that has some serious ambition this year, but maybe the best for the Canucks because they're everything. Their world. Quinn Hughes is nursing an oblique injury, may still go to the Four Nations, but just the fact that they don't have to play hockey games for 2 weeks and allowing their guy to get at least as good as or as right as he can is a massive thing for the Vancouver Canucks. So if they can get through this one, get a win. They've been playing actually pretty well in the absence of Quinn Hughes. That only lasts for so long generally when you're missing your star player. But if they can get a victory tonight, like you'd be feeling okay about just getting through the fact that your best player, the player that drives all your success while you're trying to hunt down a playoff spot, will be fine because of this 2 week break. And for the Leafs, like, you can always use some R&R. They're healthy. They're pretty healthy. They're getting healthier. I'm sure they will be as healthy as they've been all season once they come back from this break, barring an injury suffered at the Four Nations.
Yes, we will be looking ahead to that all this week on our show on the Fan Pregame. But you mentioned how important this win could be for the Canucks, for both teams, really, just to kind of put a bookend on whatever we're calling the first part of the season. But for the Leafs, it's been a really tough time for them in Vancouver. They have failed to win in 7 straight games on the road in Vancouver, being outscored 29-15. The last time the Leafs won in Vancouver was December 10th, 2019. So it's been a really rough go for them. This is also their worst road arena in the entire NHL. The Leafs, since 2021, they're 0-6-1 there, and it's by far the place with the least amount of success, followed by Carolina, Pittsburgh, and Boston. And this year, Canucks also beat Leafs at home. We remember that game was a 3-0 loss on Hockey Night in Canada as well. So it hasn't been great for the Leafs in Vancouver. We're still trying to figure out if it's just the end of a long road trip when they go out west, if they're just, I don't know, too mesmerized by the mountains, doing grouse grind, like whatever it is. They haven't been able to find success on the road in Vancouver. And we can see the behind-the-scenes feed here in our studio, and there's a lot of Leaf fans there. So it's a great atmosphere. Like, there'll be dueling chants, just like there was in Edmonton and Calgary. But for some reason, the Leafs have just been snake-bitten.
Yeah, I guess my best theory on it would be that it's any other game for the Maple Leafs, and it's the one for the Vancouver Canucks that might get their attention the most, might get the fans' attention the most, a little annoyed by the fact that they have to play a little earlier. And I just think, a lot of teams get up for the Maple Leafs. A lot of teams, when they go through Toronto, offer their best games. Guys like Adam Fantilli, who have fans in the stands, score hat tricks for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Like, there's just something about playing the Leafs that every now and then gets the best out of opponents. And I think the fact that the Leafs terms in the Canucks barn is something enough like aggrievement, if that's a proper word, to give them that extra little boost to put them over the top.
I think that's a word. We did live math on the air earlier. We'll just call that also live spell check. Sounds good to me.
Faking a word is better than faking math problems.
It's true. Canucks dogs in their own barn tonight, plus 125 at Bet365. Okay, so a couple things about the Leafs we talked about in our pregame show. Going to be the same lineup that we just saw on Thursday late against the Seattle Kraken, where they won. If you stayed up for it, you didn't miss too much. It was a bit of a sleepy game, but that second line, the nuclear second line that Craig Berube has put together, didn't really do so much, but they get another shot tonight.
Yeah, they do get another shot. I'm glad they're going back to it because I don't think it's worth trying something. If it's worth trying once, maybe just see the process through, see if there's anything there. Let it be known pretty obviously in plain sight that it's not going to work, and maybe we get to that. But at least they're going to see if anything's there on a line between William Nylander, John Tavares, and Mitch Marner. There was absolutely nothing against the Seattle Kraken, who are not an overly impressive team and should be one in which you could, as a line with 3 superstar players, generate some offense, but it didn't happen for Seattle. We'll see if it happens tonight in Vancouver. While we're on the topic of the second line, I'll give you the full line for the Maple Leafs in Vancouver tonight. The top line will feature, of course, Austin Matthews on the right side, Max Domi, and Matthew Nyes, who has been a fixture up there. As mentioned, the second line, Nylander, Tavares, Marner. The third line will have Bobby McMahon, all of the secondary scoring with one man, Bobby McMahon with Pontus Holberg and Nick Robertson. And then the fourth line will have Max Pacioretty, David Kampf, and Steven Lorentz. A homecoming for Morgan Riley, playing on the top pair with Oliver Ekman-Larsson. A homecoming of sorts for him as well. The longtime Vancouver Canuck, Jake McCabe and Chris Tanev form the shutdown pairing. And then it'll be Simone Benoit and Philippe Myers, who was just shooting the lights out in Seattle. Got himself a goal against the Kraken. Joseph Woll will be the starter, trying to follow up a brilliant start for Anthony Stolarz in his return after 2 months following a knee procedure. So good things are happening in net for the Maple Leafs. We'll see if Joseph Woll can continue his role.
We mentioned it in our previous hour, but no Quinn Hughes tonight, which is a big loss for the Vancouver Canucks because he is playing at Hart caliber, Norris caliber, and everything caliber. He is kind of their heartbeat, and they've gone through very tumultuous times over the last couple months. It's always been Vancouver leading every show, leading every Sportsnet.ca article. They did trade JT Miller, but the Pettersson drama doesn't seem to have really alleviated. He has not been himself. So a lot of question marks around his future still with this team, how they're going to be able to find some scoring, because over the last couple games, they've only scored 3 or fewer in 14 of their last 15 games. It's not going to be good enough. That's 31st in goals per game since January 8th. And that drought is being felt by a few stars. Jake DeBrusk, only 2 goals in the last 15 games. Brock Besser, only 3 goals in the last 18 games. And Elias Pettersson, 1 goal in the last 14 games. So not due for a breakout, just due to score some goals in general.
Yeah, 1 assist in the 4 games since JT Miller was traded for Elias Pettersson, and people were expecting, okay, he's just going to fill the net now because the guy
next game I hit the anytime goal big time.
Yeah, I mean, his bully is out of the room, so he's going to be okay. And we had Thomas Drance on in the last hour, and he, speculating. I don't want to make excuses for him, and I don't want to put words in Thomas's mouth, but maybe there's an injury here. Would that explain some of it? And what a tough spot that would be for Pettersson, who can't physically, if he can't physically do it, but everyone's expecting him now to do it because of the other intangible aspect of all this being removed from the situation. Like, it's just not a great scene right now for Pettersson, who may be traded before July 1 when his no movement clause actually kicks in the contract he signed with Vancouver for loads of millions of dollars. So the conversation around Pettersson is probably the most interesting in the entire NHL, given the stakes, given the drama, given what happened in the trade market, and given the clock that the Canucks are dealing with in order to make this decision on a big-time player.
All right, let's get to your key to victory, brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealers. Get home ice advantage on every drive with the new Civic Hybrid, proudly made in Ontario. Available now at your Ontario Honda dealers.
Yeah, a bit repetitive, but quality needs to match the price tag. As mentioned, Nylander, Marner, Tavares in 10-plus minutes at 5-on-5, 0.17 expected goals for. That line is making a combined $33.4 million. At the rate in which they accumulated expected goals, the line would have to cost $200 million before they produced one single goal. There's some more math that may or may not make sense, but the point stands. They got to be better than that. They're going to have some favorable matchups. Guys who are making that much money, all in the 8 figures, playing together, should be able to produce something offensively. So if the quality matches the price tag, Leafs are in good shape.
Okay, I have a couple best bets for us now.
Why don't I set you up then for the player to watch presented by Bet365, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only, play responsibly. Visit connexontario.ca. Lay it on us.
Okay, I've got Austin Matthews as my player to watch for a few reasons. He hasn't scored a goal in 5 games. Every time we get a pregame sheet, it tells me that he's 1 goal away from tying Daryl Sittler and 2 goals. I'm like, yes, so I'd like to see that stat
Curse of
change.
Daryl.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Hasn't scored in 5 games, and traditionally he cooks Demko. He's got 18 goals and 23 points in 24 games versus the Canucks, which is the 4th most points per game all time in the NHL versus the Canucks. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
It's crazy high. And Demko's 8 career goals allowed to Austin Matthews are tied for 2nd most against any skater. So Austin Matthews playing Thatcher Demko and being able to score against the Canucks. I like that one tonight, plus 125 for an anytime goal. I also have 2 revenge plays for you. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who people just said, oh, enjoy him. Haha, like making fun of the Leafs a little bit for accumulating
the guy who won a Stanley Cup last year.
That's correct.
Enjoy him.
Plus 850. And then Riley, you mentioned it, the hometown guy. It was funny, there's a little period of time where Riley to the Canucks was a trending discussion, and people said, well, send him home, change his scenery. And he's 11-1 to score tonight. Finally, the Leafs have gotten some goal scoring from their defensemen, thanks to Philip Myers. So maybe that just opens the vault and they all come pouring out. So OEL and Riley on your revenge angles. I don't think there's any for the Canucks.
Ooh, any for the Canucks?
I went through it. And
Jake DeBrusk haunts.
I looked.
In
He only
the
has
Boston Bruins.
no. I already looked. He only had 6 goals.
Okay.
So I thought about it. I looked him up and I was like, it's not really enough. Drew O'Connor, Dartmouth Big Green. I'll give you that one.
Nothing related to the Leafs,
Just
but
related to
Dartmouth.
me.
I'm sorry, you were not as excited about that move in the moment.
No, I think it's good.
Okay.
I don't know.
Very exciting
You want me to
stuff.
break down Drew O'Connor trade?
What's his price then? Did
Okay,
you say
well,
it?
I didn't get it yet.
While you're looking it up, hard to square the fact that the Maple Leafs can't beat the Vancouver Canucks when Austin Matthews has so much success against
it doesn't make
Thatcher
much
Demko.
sense.
It's
on
not
the
really-
road. It's on the road.
When Austin Matthews gets things done, normally wins follow. So that's a little bit of a strange one. But yeah, it's not the whole story, given that clearly Matthews has scored some home ice goals versus the Canucks.
Drew O'Connor, Dartmouth Big Green, plus 550 to score.
Playing in the top 6, not a terrible look.
And as an alumni, a connection runs
Do you know
strong.
what his best season for Dartmouth was? What's a great?
Oh my goodness, who cares?
What's a great goal scoring season in? Is it the What is it?
CHL.
ECHL.
ECAC.
ECHL.
Yeah, well, I thought
I was closer than you were.
ECAC.
I didn't even play in the league.
ECAC, he had, I think, 21 goals. Yeah, 21 goals in
Is
his
that a
senior
good league?
season. That's pretty good.
Are there 30 goal scorers in the ECAC?
Oh, yes. Okay, let's talk about this game.
You always want to talk about Dartmouth.
No,
so
I know.
I'm trying.
Just saying, if I'm giving you a player to watch. Okay, we got about 1 minute. Leafs road, not great against the Canucks, but you're looking into the Four Nations Faceoff break looming. I think tonight's about just focusing on what's controllable, and that is like one coming out hot in this first period. Don't worry about your trip to Cabo. Worry about winning the first period.
Yeah, it's like impossible to simulate things, but this is a 4-game road trip. It requires 4 games to win a playoff series. You've got this break in front of you. Could you be thinking, let's close it out. Let's win the series.
Go out good.
Let's get that 4th victory and actually get to celebrate for 2 weeks, or at least celebrate some rest and relaxation and, some nights out on the town. Like, that would be a great thing for the Maple Leafs to like mentally construct from themselves. But again, that's easier said than done. We'll see if the Leafs can extend the winning streak to 4 games and sweep the Western Canada Seattle trip.
All right, Puck Drop is on the other side of the break with Joe Bone and Jim Ralph. You've been listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Breaking story from Alpine News Network. Jan owns a home and a restaurant fusing French and Mexican cuisine. But she is fusing no more because her ovens have gone kaput. She called Alpine Credits, who sent their speedy superhero. With her business loan approved, her ovens were quickly fixed. The hero even had some of her poutine nachos. Yum! Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Just for license 12616.
It was a rainy day when Pizzaville announced their loyalty program, but some listeners
Go Leafs, go! Go Leafs, go! Go Leafs, go! Make sure to hit the like button and so you don't miss out on our content.
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm just telling the chat to like the video.
You telling everybody in the chat to hit the like button?
Yeah.
Nice job. Can you guys please hit the like button? This kid's awesome. Go Leafs, go! We'll see you back in the chat.
Visit enercare.ca.
Enercare, experts at home.
We are gathered here today to celebrate life's big milestones. Do you promise to stand together through home purchases, auto upgrades, and surprise dents and dings?
We do.
To embrace life's big moments for any adorable co-drivers down the road?
We do.
Then, with the caring support of Desjardins Insurance, I pronounce you covered for home, auto, and flexible life insurance.
For life's big milestones, get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care.
With MSC Cruises, discover big on a mini getaway or treat yourself to a week-long vacation. For a limited time, book now and enjoy up to 35% off cruises, plus kids sail free. Sail to the turquoise waters of the Bahamas with stops at our private island, Ocean Key MSC Marine Reserve, or experience the beauty of the Caribbean and more destinations. MSC Cruises, for a greater beauty. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
Mondays on City TV.
I'm excited to get engaged. I'm excited to be with my person.
Grant is on a journey to find his wife.
Grant is everything a girl would want in their future husband.
But the competition is fierce.
One of these women is being deceitful.
You backstabbed me.
Who will fight the hardest to win his heart?
How much attention do you need? I shot my shot. I guess I'm crazy and evil.
The Bachelor. Mondays 8/7 Central on City TV or stream it on City TV Plus.
Canada, a land so vast, it's connected by something deeper than roads and rivers. It's connected by our voices and our stories. In 1960, Ted Rogers had a dream to build something truly Canadian. With one FM radio station in Toronto, he set out to connect a country known for its distance, but defined by its unity. We are proud to carry on that legacy today. To find out more about how you can amplify your message with true Canadian media, visit rogersportsandmedia.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Leafs breaking in and scores!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
You know, the break doesn't start yet. It starts tomorrow. So we've got a big game today and, you know, the opportunity to 2 points in the standings, right? I mean, it's tight. We all know that. And, you know, we got to be ready to go. We got to skate. We got to be physical here early and get into the game. That'll be important. We got to keep our PP going. Our penalty kill is going to have to be good tonight. But we have to play a smart game against these guys. You know, they're not going to give you a lot, so you got to take what they give you, and we got to manage the game properly.
Head coach Craig Berube talking about what has to happen against the Vancouver Canucks tonight. And we can tell you that the interns of the Iced Igloos are brought to you by Molson. Molson, everyone in. It will be Thatcher Demko getting the call for the Vancouver Canucks. 6-6-3, 2.90 and an 8.89 save percentage coming back from an extended time on the disabled list. And Joseph Woll, 19-10-0 this season, 2.67 and a 9.09 save percentage, gets the call after Anthony Stolarz played so well in Calgary, and it appears that they'll start alternating going back and forth. The game delayed just a little bit. Prince Harry and the Invictus Games being held in British Columbia and Whistler, and so welcome to them, and what a great event that is, and they do such a marvelous job, and Prince Harry has been the kind of the poster boy, if you will, of that wonderful organization. As we're underway, the Leafs to the left and the Vancouver Canucks to the right as it's played down into the Vancouver end, and it's already noisy in the building already as the Canucks get the puck and play it out at center, and DeBrusk gets it down into the Leaf end, but it's going to be an icing call, and so it will come back. A lot of Leaf fans again in the building, as has been the case on this road trip with 3 Canadian stops in Edmonton, Calgary, and Vancouver. And, of course, apologies to everyone out there for having to get to the game a little early. 4 o'clock start. You know, they're 13-1 in Saturday afternoon. 4 o'clock starts in Vancouver. So forget it. I'm not apologizing. Matthews off a face-off win in the near corner. Looks to come out in front. Goes back to the point with it. Ekman-Larsson a shot. Big rebound in front and it bounced over Nye's stick. On a good opportunity there is now it caroms off a leg and goes down to Demko, who plays it into the corner. Nye's tried to get it freed up and did. He took a hit to make that play, but the Canucks get it out at center, and Sherwood will send it down into the Toronto zone.
You think of the first line, Kemp, Pacioretty, and Steven Lorentz to start off for the Leafs.
Here's Oliver Ekman-Larsson getting it ahead for Nylander. Nylander to Tavares. Backhanded it to the line, but it was blocked. And up on the far side, Connor Garland gets in over the line for the Canucks, sending it around back of the net. Puck comes around the boards to the near side. Marner trying to flip it out, had it hit a leg, bounced in front of the net. Garland couldn't get it. Then when he did shoot it, it caroms off a leg and goes up into the screen and out of play. The Maple Leafs come into the game 33-19-2, 68 points, 14-8-2 on the road. And that road record has improved dramatically.
Yeah, last 11 games. Well, I mean, win 3 in a row on this trip. Have won 9 of 11 away from Scotiabank Arena. The losses were in Carolina, in Ottawa. So that has improved. Vancouver Canucks, though, at home, 10-10-7 at home this year. Well, obviously much better for some reason away from home.
Yeah, face-off control by the Leafs. Played out at center ice. I'll tell you what, if there's a bench-clearing brawl, I don't know who to take, Tocchet or Berube.
Oh,
I'm betting they ran into each other over the course of their careers. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and you wonder, can you think of any other coaches in the league right now that you could even put in that category?
Oh, not even close. Don't think.
Not with Bruce Boudreau gone.
John Tortorella, but he might bite your ankle at the end. I'm not sure. I think he'd cheat.
I think he'd go down swinging, that's for sure.
Oh, yes.
And probably have the better chirps.
Yeah, his post-game interview would be more entertaining. Pass ahead, deflects down into the Toronto zone. Wall will scoop it around the boards into the left wing corner. Leafs get it out. And at center ice, a nice pass to get to the line from Pontus Holmberg on his backhand. And that went off the pad. The rebound is shot on goal, and that was stopped by Demko. Leafs keep the puck in. Here's Robertson for Bobby McMahon. A shot right on. And that was stopped by Demko, and they'll push it up on the right wing and get it out. It'll just be cleared into Toronto territory, and teams are changing now. Wall leaving the puck back of the goal for Morgan Riley. Over his last 2 games, +3. As the pass comes off a stick to center ice. Lorenz sends it back into his own zone. Wall's going to play it over here to Ekman-Larsson, who banks it back now for Riley, and he gets it up on the left wing for David Camp. On the wing for Lorenz. Knocked away, brought to the line, and then knocked off his stick. And it is Bluger getting it back and sending it down into the Leaf zone. Amon goes into the corner after the puck, trying to get to it. Bluger couldn't come up with it as it comes back to the point. Pass along the boards, and you can hear the chanting going on in the stands as the puck comes out at center ice, led by David Camp. Camp will get to the Vancouver blue line. Right wing pass from Myers. Easy shot, handled that way by Demko. Puck is on the far corner and goes around back of the net, and Philip Hronek out trying to make a move to get it out. Now starts up on the left wing boards, being chased hard there by Domi. DeBrusk sends it around the boards and into the Leaf zone. Played back to the point. Long shot. That went wide. Vancouver's not had a shot on goal as yet. Leafs have had 4. Puck around back of the net. Matthews comes away with it. Got it up on the left wing. And Nyes will bank it out at center ice, forcing Myers back into his own zone. Played up on the wing and out at center and down into the Leaf end. Chris Tanev after the puck. Trying to get ahead there from the floor check. The puck is around back of the Toronto goal. And Matthews up against the boards, lost it. Now back of the net, trying to come out with it. Pettersson couldn't find it. Now it's blocked, and it's brought up on the right wing side for Marner. Marner will get to the line and flip it in. Around the boards, back of the net. Myers cuts it off and got it past the Leaf forward, to get it up on the wing, and trying to move out there to get free was Dakota Joshua, but he couldn't make a play, and then it's offside at the Vancouver blue line, and that will bring it back into the center ice area. 15:41 left in a scoreless first period.
And Vancouver shutting out the Leafs a few weeks ago. Their only other meeting of the season in Toronto, 3-0. But a few lineup changes since then. Right? JT Miller obviously gone. Quinn Hughes is hurt. And maybe questionable for the Four Nations tournament coming up. Danton Heinen, Eric Brandstrom, Philip Di Giuseppe, a number. Vinny Desharnais, another one that was with Vancouver a few weeks ago. But at least those moves now, they're sitting into a playoff spot thanks in part to the Leafs beating Calgary.
Played around the boards and out and down the ice. It must have touched a Vancouver player. There's no icing. Demko snaps it around on the boards, and Tavares couldn't knock it down. It comes to center. Puck ahead, intercepted by Philip Ronik. Ronik drops it back. Höglander bringing it to center with a pass up on the right wing. Worked into the Toronto zone, going wide. Good play there by Benoit to knock it free. It comes back to the point. Fed off into the slot area. Dangerous shot there, and that was stopped, I think, by the glove of Wall. Knocked away. Comes back to the point. Another quick one-timer, and that felled one of the Leafs. Not sure who that was. No, it's Tavares, and he's limping as he goes to the bench after that blocked shot. Elias Pettersson, one of them, got it out at center ice. Now the Leafs bring it in over the line. Can't get free. And it's gobbled up there by O'Connor and got out at center. But the Leafs have it again. And now Robertson unable to get into the zone cleanly. Back come the Canucks and across the line. Shot by Besser. Another rebound in front. Stopped by Wall. Puck is still free. Wall scrambling to get back into position. And the Leafs help him out by dumping it out at center ice and down into Vancouver territory.
Well, a few shots on goal by the Canucks, but both of them were spectacular stops by Wall.
Deflected down into Toronto territory. Wall leaving it there, but the puck is stopped back at the net. Canucks get onto it, get it into the far corner for Höglander. Now back around behind the goal. Bluger getting it back to the point. The shot went well wide. To the far point, Myers. Over on the near side. Shot taken by Pettersson was deflected wide of the net. In around back of the goal it goes. Vancouver getting it back. Pettersson is able to keep it in. Myers gets a shot towards the net. That deflected wide of the goal. Leafs under pressure here in their own zone. Round back of the net for Riley. Got it up on the wing. And Lorenz stretches things out nicely and then is able to just airmail it into neutral ice, and a change of players coming for Toronto. Played in over the line. Down into the corner goes Sherwood. He's knocked off the puck, but the Canucks come away with a loose disc. Round back of the net again for Sherwood. He couldn't come up with it. A hit there, and Benoit got the reverse hit and was knocked down. At the point, a shot stopped by Wall, and the rebound goes into the corner. Good pressure here for the Canucks over the last couple of shifts. Back to the point. Forbert leaves it off now. Pettersson with a pass in front. They score! Philip Ronik gets a nice pass from Pettersson. And the Canucks open the scoring. It's 1-0.
Back-to-back shifts where the Leafs get caught in their own zone. Steven Lorenz, Joe, got caught out on a real long shift and ended up on the ice with Matthews and Matthew Nyes, and Lorenz unable to get the puck out at the right point. They keep it in, and Matthew Nyes probably the guy, Joe, responsible for Ronak jumping past him from the left point. Finds the lane to the net, and a little one-time chip up and over the left glove or left hand of Joseph Wall to give the Canucks the lead.
Garland gets down into the Toronto zone, rubbed out there by Tanev. The puck comes free, and the Leafs Tavares. No worse for the wear for that block shot. Gets it ahead, and it's shot down into the zone. Marner couldn't trap it at the blue line. Tanev is tripped up, but he's able to free the puck up, and Tavares waits for teammates to get onside. To Nylander, closing in! And the shot was stopped, and it went over top of the goal. Willie gets it back along the boards on the near side. Can't get it back to the point, but now it does. Riley, wrist shot towards the net. Karam's out in front. No one there to do any damage with it, and the Canucks will get it out and down the ice, and an icing charge will be waved off. Riley goes back for it. Morgan Riley to center. Plays it off a bounce towards the net. Scooped back to the goal then by Demko. Leafs get it back into the corner for McMahon. Bobby McMahon centered. It went right past Robertson. Back into the corner off McMahon's skate. McMahon back to the point to Tanev. Can't shoot it at the net. Then had it knocked away, and now is in a foot race here with Drew O'Connor. O'Connor gets into the corner, and Tanev pasted him there with a pretty good hit. Centering pass goal comes back to the point. Pettersson with a shot. That went high and wide. Deflected out at center ice now, and Soucy will get it to the other Pettersson, and he shoots it in. There's three of them. It was bad enough when they had the Sedin twins, but now they got two Elias Petterssons and another Marcus Pettersson. Leafs back in their own zone. Myers plays it out at center. And it is grabbed off and brought in over the line by Knies, going wide. Got a shot away, and it was high and wide of the goal. Rebound comes out at center ice. Second time on this trip that the Leafs have trailed in a game. Calgary got the opening goal before the Leafs rallied to come back in that one. Actually, they got it twice. One was waved out. Here the Leafs to the line and in. Into the slot. Knies drop pass. Domi had to shoot that puck, and he tried for a redirect there by Knies. Puck intercepted in front of the net for Matthews. A drive and off the shoulder of Demko and stopped. Good setup there by Max Domi. Played out and down the ice, and won't have enough to go for icing. And David Camp over the boards gets it back to Morgan Riley. Riley faked the pass, then comes up the middle trying to find a man that didn't work. Off a stick, though. The Leafs are into the forecheck, but the Canucks are able to break it out. Midpoint of the first period, 1-0 Vancouver. Pass intercepted in the neutral zone. Brought in now, and a drop pass for Elias Pettersson. His shot goes high off his stick and into the screen. And 10 minutes remain exactly in the first period. 1-0 Vancouver. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
A Tim's Donut and Coffee is the original collab. And now, any classic donut is $1 when you buy any size original or dark roast coffee. Get a deal on the iconic duo with a Tim's $1 donut. Plus tax at participating restaurants for a limited time. Terms apply. See app for details.
It's time for Tim's.
Scott McGilvery here. I've done hundreds of home renovations over the years, and I'm particularly careful about what I put under the floors. On my projects, I use DMX One Step 2.0. This easy-to-install underlayment has an air gap design that allows moisture to evaporate, and it doesn't require wood subfloors, which can be a food source for mold growth. DMX One Step 2.0 can be used under most vinyl or laminate floors, so whatever you choose, you know your investment will be protected. DMX One Step 2.0. No mold, no cold. Find it at the Home Depot in Rona.
Hello, dearest listener. In the thick of the winter season, you may be in need of some joie de vivre. Well, look no further, honey, because Sunwing's Best Value Vacays has your budget-friendly escapes all the way to 5-star luxury. Yes, you heard correctly. Budget and luxury, all in one place. So instead of ice scraping and teeth chattering, choose coconut sipping and pool splashing. Oh, and book by February 16th with your local travel advisor or at...
Hey, it's Ailish Forfar.
And I'm Justin Cuthbert.
Join us as we tee up the biggest games of the night on the Fan pregame, brought to you by Botano.
6 p.m. on Sportsnet, Sportsnet 590 The Fan, and wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Leafs win the draw. Marner with a shot at traffic, scores!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
We got a goalie change going here.
Well, Kevin Lankinen coming in early here for Thatcher Demko. I didn't notice him, Joe, after a shot or anything favoring.
But it appears that Lankinen is in the net. Hey, I want to send out a big shout out to the nurses and the physicians at SickKids. 7C, little Brody Bowen is home, out of the hospital finally, and hopefully moving in the right direction. Still waiting for a bunch of tests to be done, but we got him home, is important. Pass ahead at center. Brought in over the line by Marner. Dropped off for Tavares. Tavares sends it back into the corner. Marner and Nylander trying to kick at it. Puck still free. Nylander got it back at the net. Marner centered in front, and Tavares swept it just wide of the goal. Nylander back at the net with it now. Still with it, works to the corner. Back to the point, one-timer that flex high into the corner. Tanev keeping it alive. Tavares working in the corner, back at the net for Willie. Centered for Marner, and it was tipped away from him just before he was going to get a one-timer away. Leafs get it back at center ice and into their zone. Jake McCabe for Chris Tanev, and Tanev's going to stretch things out. Both teams are getting a change of players going. He leads the league in blocked shots, Chris Tanev does. And he's going to set the Leaf record, too. 176 from Carl Gunnarsson. Well, Tanev's got 148 already. Back down into the Toronto end. Myers chips it up on the wing. Leafs get it out at center and brought to the line by Matthews. Along with Domi. Tried to drop it off to Max. That was knocked away. Then one of the Leafs got taken down there, but no call. And it's played down into the Toronto end. Myers back of the goal. Got it up. Benoit on the wing. Unable to shoot it in there was McMahon. He now gets it off on the left wing for Morgan Riley. Riley set it right through the goal crease. No one there. Played back in along the boards. Knocked down on the play there was Pontus Holmberg. And it is the Canucks who get it out at center. They lead 1-0 with 8:08 to play here in period number 1. Leafs at center ice with a little tip pass for Holmberg into the corner. Puck back of the net, trying to come out in front of the net. There was McMahon. He barges through it. The puck remains behind the goal. Now after it is Pontus Holmberg. He gets it around the boards into the far corner. Interfered with there was Robertson and taken down, but no call. And the puck is back into the Toronto zone. Better make sure we know who's refereeing. This is Chris Schlemker and Graham Skeletor. A shot from the point blocked in front of the Leaf goal. And they've had the whistles put away early here in this game. Cleared in over the line for Tavares. Tavares unable to get to it in time, and the Canucks get it ahead for Höglander and then played into the far corner. Jake McCabe turning to get away from a man. Got it up on the wing, but having his pocket picked there was the Leafs to get it ahead. And now brought to the line by Nylander. He couldn't find his winger. And the Canucks will play it back into the center ice area. Tanev regroups here with Jake McCabe as both teams are changing. McCabe's starts out with a pass up the middle, deflects down into Vancouver territory. Leafs onto the puck with Lorenz knocking his man down. Long shot goes wide of the goal as Lankinen missed it. Puck into the corner. Leafs get to it again around back of the net. Trying to come out with it now behind the goal. It comes around on the boards too far as it was deflected away from Lorenz. And back come the Canucks and over the line. Drop pass from Sherwood and a shot from a sharp angle went high and wide. The rebound is kept in at the far point. Down into the corner. Suter trying to get it freed up. The Leafs do and play it up the boards, but it won't get out of the zone. Good hit there against Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who battles on the boards for it. Puck is still back of the goal. Ekman-Larsson knocked down as it comes back to the point. Philip Roenick trying to keep it in. He's the goal scorer in a 1-0 Vancouver lead. Riley gets the puck out at center ice. Leafs will change. Vancouver doing likewise. They bring it in on the left wing. Garland works with a shot. Stopped there by goaltender Joseph Wall. It comes back to the point. Another long shot that deflects wide. Cleared into the corner on a nice play by Myers to free it up. And he'll just flip to center ice. Canucks get it right back, and they go into the attack once again. Joshua getting into the slot area. Oh, and it bounced over Garland's stick, or he had a glorious chance. He'd have had to elevate it, though, because Wall had that pad there, but it was a great scoring chance. Domi on the left wing starts out with Nyes. Domi will flip it to Nyes on the wing. Nyes doesn't get it in deep. He'll get it the second time and then flipped around back of the net. Domi to the point. Tanev with a shot. Looking for a deflection. Didn't get it. Tanev again with a shot. In front shot by Matthews was kicked away. Puck around back of the goal. Nyes is onto it. Back to the point to Tanev again. A little head fake. Goes to the left wing side. It bounced away from Max. Domi trying to get to it, but it's volleyballed out at center ice by Vancouver. You still here? Apparently not. Brought on now at center, and it's shot down into the Vancouver zone. 4:31 to go here in the first period. 1-0 Vancouver.
I just love listening to you.
Played out at center ice and bunted back by Nylander, and the Leafs will reorganize. Boy, if we were in Vancouver, we'd be getting out early to the bars, wouldn't we? This game is moving right along. 4:12, we get an icing to stop play.
I think we're short a couple of commercial breaks, too, aren't we?
I wouldn't be surprised. Shots on goal favor Vancouver 8-6. They have a goal. It's 1-0 Vancouver. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The Subaru winter has arrived. The crisp air and negative temperatures mean one thing: camping. Emerge from your icy tent and bask in 4 to 6 hours of sunlight. Enjoy the unmistakable smell of campfire through the glacial wind pummeling your face. Relax by the water, taking in the soothing sounds of thick ice cracking and popping. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Visit your local Subaru dealer today.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in stock, ready to deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight for the Leafs game. Now that we've got your attention, Tom has something to say.
Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell for some notifications for all the streams that we have on TSI.
You know it. If it's a Toronto sports game, we're live. The Maple Leafs, the Raptors, the Argos, TFC, Blue Jays all summer long. Thank you so much for becoming an insider and hitting that subscribe button. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go!
Yours today.
Well, we kind of got a false start on that one. We went to a commercial break when they hadn't. Now they're going to a commercial break, and we won't. What do you got for us?
Well, commercial break is usually when the screen goes black and then you throw it, and you did it. You messed up an early Saturday start in Vancouver.
Yeah, but there was a long play without a commercial. I just assumed that was when they were going to go.
That's your Demko. The update we've got is he was hit, according to Lance Hornby, in an unprotected area. And it might have been the Matthews shot. The one-timer, although we're looking at the replay of that now, and it looks like it just gets him in the chest, doesn't it?
Yeah. That was kind of strange. Well, while we have this time, I promised a very good friend of mine that I would give him a plug because we did it the other night when we were late in Seattle and he was driving home from an event. But young Jesse Ralph, I want to make sure everybody knows what a great show that is if you are able to get to one of the comedy shows that they do, and they are all over Ontario.
Yeah, he's got a couple back-to-back, like the one you did in you went to in Newmarket. Back-to-back early April, 4th and 5th, I believe.
Perfect.
At Old Town Hall.
Get an opportunity and go because it is a great night out, and you're going to have a sore belly when you leave because you're going to have some real good belly laughs going through it. So all of those comedians do a great job, and Jesse is terrific. So.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. By the way, he was not in the car when we gave him a shutout. They stopped to get gas and got out. But another comedian texted them on the way.
Oh, good.
Hard to believe the Vancouver Canucks have won 7 straight at home against the Toronto Maple Leafs. And by the way, the Leafs are penalized on this. And what bothers you about this, they could have called 3 or 4 other penalties before this.
Yeah.
And now the first 50-50 call, it would appear, and it was in the corner to the right of Joseph Wall. Philip Myers is going to go and you're going to call cross-checking on that when you probably could have called 4 or 5 earlier and let him go.
The interference on Robertson was fairly obvious, too. So, the Leafs in the penalty kill, brought to you by Ontario Honda. And the Ontario Honda dealers get home ice advantage on every drive with the new Civic Hybrid. Proudly made in Ontario, available now at your Ontario Honda dealers. brought in and shot in by Pettersson into the corner. Leafs bang it off the boards, and out and down the ice it goes.
Vancouver power play has been good of late, 6 for 10 in the last 6 games played.
Leafs are 13th in penalty killing proficiency, giving up 32 goals and 162 opportunities. Played around the boards and in around into the corner. The Leafs gave up goals in Calgary when they were 2 men short on a couple of occasions. Back on the left wing side, DeBrusk gets it back to the point, fed over on the far wing. Played back to the point, long shot, wide of the goal, rebound to the near boards. Leafs aren't able to get to it initially. Camp is able to force it up on the wing. Grabbed off there by DeBrusk again. DeBrusk down along the half wall, gets it back to the blue line. Fed over by Ronick to the right wing side. Pettersson close with the pass. Oh, he had an open net. He would have been able to handle it, but he wasn't able to do so. And it's shot out and down the ice by Toronto. Myers brings it to center. Paul, defenseman, couldn't get into the Leaf zone cleanly. Bogged down, backhanded out at center ice by McCabe. And the Canucks, with 25 seconds left in the power play, are back in their own zone. Brought to center and across by Hedel in on the right side. A long shot goes well wide of the Leaf goal. On the near boards, trying to keep it alive is Joshua. Dakota Joshua loses it. And Matthews gave chase, but Myers was in position to come up with the puck. 4 seconds left in the penalty. Tipped in over the line. Whacked back up on the boards. Grabbed off by Hedel. Got it in front. Pass intercepted. Leaves out of the penalty box. Here's Myers in a short rush going to the net. Rolled it across the goal crease, but no one was there.
Great move.
Yeah.
But the vision was a...
No, the vision wasn't good. The move was terrific. Susie brings it in now for Vancouver. Played around back to the net. Under a minute to play in the period. 36 seconds to be exact. Back to the point it comes. Over on the left wing side for Susie. Shot! That deflected wide. Myers on the far boards will get it out. 24 seconds as the Leafs get to the line and flip it into the near corner. Tavares in pursuit, but Susie plays it around on the boards, and the Canucks will get it out with 16 seconds. Brought on by Teddy Bluger. Bluger drops it back. A shot blockered away nicely by Wall. And up into the screen it goes. 11 shots on goal now for Vancouver. And a 1-0 Vancouver lead with just seconds remaining here in period number 1.
Kevin Lankinen came in at the midway mark of the period. Has not faced a shot yet from the Leafs. The Leafs really unable to take advantage of a guy coming in cold, unless he's going to be real cold now. But things have kind of switched back the other way. 9.7 seconds left here in the opening period.
Draw to the right in the Leaf end. Camp has been waved out, and so has Elias Pettersson. Which Elias Pettersson was that?
Oh, no, you're thinking of the other one.
Oh, the other one. Okay. Call the face-off again. And pretty tough to do it play-by-play when you got two guys with the exact same name. The other Pettersson. Yeah. Leafs get it down into the Vancouver end, and time will run out.
So, 4
they
periods.
Ever put those 3 guys on the same line, I quit.
My favorite memory of name combinations on the ice at the same time, and it was a Leaf preseason game where it was Aki Berg, Bob Wren, and Michael Renberg. You had Wren, Berg, and Renberg all in the lineup at the same time, which I thought, I don't think they were ever out at the same time, but it was that would have been a lot of fun.
Well, one of the coaches, if they'd have said, we're going to really fool with the play-by-play guy, we're putting them all out there at the same time. All right, well, we'll check in with Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert. A 1-0 Vancouver lead after 20 minutes. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hi, it's Dave, one of the sales managers at Maple Auto Mall. When people want a new vehicle, I feel their excitement and their caution. They'll ask, can I afford this? Well, at Maple Auto Mall, we'll ask, what are you looking for? And what's your budget? With 10 dealers, we'll find you the perfect vehicle and make the money work. So all you have to do is enjoy the ride.
Get the best selection and service at mapleautomall.com.
Finest cars for all. Maple Auto Mall.
Part of the Zankin Auto Group.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
I don't want to say I'm a big deal, but I am a superhero. I love helping people consolidate their debts, and that's what I did for the Smiths.
Cheers, insiders and football fans all over the world. This is Joe Bowen, Hall of Fame voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and, more importantly under these circumstances, a huge football fan of the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Well, we want to thank you for hanging out with us and cheering on your favorite team during the SickKids Football Frenzy campaign here on TSI, where we make a real-world difference in our Toronto community. Now, I'm sure you're all wondering how you are making a difference. Well, a percentage of revenue from every single game will be donated directly to SickKids Hospital, as we have raised over $6,500 in just 8 months. SickKids has impacted my life, and I'm sure the lives of countless families in the Toronto area, and I know probably a number of yours as well. Please check out the link that is pinned in the chat or in the description and donate if you are able. Let's show the power of community of sports fans making a difference. One of the best ways to increase the amount of the donation is to share the link of this YouTube live stream on social media to help bring more football fans to our amazing community, changing the world one insider at a time. We'll see you in the chat. And holy Mackinac, thank you for helping us raise money for SickKids Hospital as we heal the future.
Donate online at carsforkids.ca. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll benefit a child and get a maximum tax credit.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Donate today, and your car can be gone tomorrow.
Now everyone knows how much I crave Lone Star fajitas. But every Tuesday, I get the craving for saving.
Now at Lone Star, una fajita for $19.99 or fajitas for two for $29.99. Wood-fire grilled seasoned chicken breast, fresh baked tortillas served on a sizzling skillet. It's Fajita Tuesday. That's una fajita for $19.99 or fajitas for two for $29.99. Only at Lone Star, including the new Lone Star Cantina in Whitby. Your home for fajitas, Ritas, and good times.
The snow conditions are here for what will be a great snowmobile season. And what could make it even better? How about the best offers we've ever had on Ski-Doo and Lynx snowmobiles? Hi, I'm Jean-Luc Lemire. Our best promotions are on. Choose 0% financing for 5 years or rebates of up to $3,000 off, or choose no payment for 6 months on all 2024 or 2025 Ski-Doos. The choice is yours, and the savings are the best we've ever had. Visit us at Energy Power Sports in Oakville today and ride now.
Orthotics!
Footwear!
Orthotics!
Footwear!
Guys, enough. Kintec are experts in orthotics and footwear. It's what sets them apart. By tailoring orthotics to your shoes and shoes to your orthotics, you get comfort and support designed just for you.
Oh, so it's orthotics and footwear working together.
Like peanut butter and jelly. You got it.
Or tuna and jam.
Is that a thing?
PB&J. Tuna and jam.
Oh, boy.
Kintec footwear and orthotics.
Need to send money in another currency? With Wise, you can send money internationally without hidden fees. From dollars to dong, pounds to pesos, euros to yen, you could save up to 3 times compared to major banks. Send money with Wise in more than 40 currencies without getting ripped off. See how much you could save. Download the Wise app today. Wise, the app for doing things in other currencies. Terms and conditions apply.
439 Pizza Nova. 439 Pizza Nova.
Ciao, Dominic Primucci here. The big game is the perfect time for our mouth-watering oven-baked pizzas, wedges, and wings. So from our family to yours, cheer on your favorite team and taste the difference.
It's a Nova. 439. Oh, Pizza Nova. 439. Oh, Pizza Nova.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Marner on the far half boards to Matthews, scores!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey, Sportsnet 590, the Fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Schwarfar, Justin Cuthbert. That was a quick period. And that's
quick and
why
clean.
We had to have an extra commercial break before we came back in. But it is a 1-0 lead for the Vancouver Canucks after 20 minutes, thanks to Roenick getting on the scoreboard.
Yeah, Roenick gets the goal, but I think it's worth focusing on the guy we focused on a lot in the pregame, which was Elias Pettersson.
Which
alive. One? Elias, not Elias. Elias. That's an important distinction. Anyway, Elias is the guy who makes all the money and the guy who's been under the microscope, and he had a hell of a shift before setting up that pass to Philip Roenick, a beautiful reverse hit on Benoit. Then he gets the offensive zone takeaway, gets the pass back, and has a beautiful east-west diagonal backdoor to Roenick. That was exactly what Vancouver Canuck fans want to see from Elias Pettersson. It's just one moment, I suppose, but I think Pettersson was the best player on the ice in the first period and outshining the other guys, at least, that are making 8 figures right now.
Yeah, we spent the full hour pregame show doing a lot of Canucks analysis, and a lot of it was, okay, you got rid of JT Miller and Pettersson needs to shine. And maybe it's taken a couple games longer than possible, but that was a pretty good representation of what he can do, what he can bring to this team or to another team if he is a trade candidate. Other stories from the first period, 1-0 lead for the Canucks. Really early on, Demko went to the bench and Lankinen is now the goaltender. We're not sure if that's just going to be for that first period or if that's for the rest of the game. The broadcast tried to show
they were searching for it.
No way. Like they showed a shot that hit him in the blocker.
They usually know.
Okay.
It kind of blocker's shoulder, but again, there's no way.
But he didn't seem to wince after it. He just went to the boards during a commercial break and never came back. So maybe he had some bad food before.
It's possible. Canucks are obviously missing their most important player. That's Quinn Hughes. Is Thatcher Demko the second most important player? I'm not really sure because Kevin Lankinen has been
Lately,
really good.
He's been good too.
But Thatcher Demko's been really good and really important. And he's actually the guy who could potentially, you build your team around, given the talent that Thatcher Demko has. So they're going to need him in the same way that Maple Leafs need one of Joseph Woll or Anthony Stolarz.
Yeah, Demko has a great record against the Leafs at home, 5-0 all time at home against the Leafs, and he's been
Everyone's got these records against the Leafs on this team.
Yeah, that's true. He started 4 of the last 5 Canucks games, 8 of the last 11, and he had 2 really great starts in the last 2, 58 of 59 shots saved. So he's on a little bit of a hot streak. So we'll see if he comes back out for the second period. We will take a quick break one more time and give you the out-of-town scoreboard as we get you set for the second period. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
4 Nations Faceoff for the world to see. International Best on Best hockey is back as NHL stars compete for their country to see which hockey nation will reign.
Star power in abundance.
Canada, Finland, Sweden, USA. Teammates turned rivals and rivals turned teammates. For country, for glory, 4 nations.
We are set for puck drop.
The 4 Nations Faceoff begins Wednesday on Sportsnet.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
At last, the Subaru winter is here. It's the perfect weather for the beach. Feel the sun's rays on the small amount of skin peeking out of your ski mask. Put on your beach puffer and hear the sound of the waves crashing over the chatter of your teeth. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Visit your local Subaru dealer today.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
The 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid is here, and it may sound too good to be true. With a 2-liter 4-cylinder backed by 2 electric motors, giving a combined 200 horsepower, it's our most powerful and fuel-efficient Civic ever. Plus, with an estimated range of over 800 kilometers and available features like a Bose premium sound system, your crew will love it too. Huh, maybe it should be called the Civic 2.0. Redefine your drive with the 2025 Civic Hybrid. Visit your Ontario Honda dealer and test drive yours today.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Bulls and Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. It's a 1-0 lead for the Canucks after 20 minutes. Ayla Schwartzbar and Justin Cuthbert with your intermissions. No post-game for us tonight. Leafs Talk will be back with JD Bunkus and Sam McKee as they break down a 7 p.m. Eastern start. The Leafs and the Canucks. Let's take a look at the NHL scoreboard. Presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit connexontario.ca.
Predictably, it's a busy day in the NHL, given that the NHL ceases operations for 2 weeks, beginning on Monday. So a lot of teams in action and a couple finals already today. The Hurricanes beat the Utah Hockey Club 7-3. Lightning got a 6-3 victory over the Red Wings. Devils blanked the Canadiens 4-0, and the Golden Knights got a 4-3 win over the Boston Bruins. So a lot of Atlantic Division teams not winning games earlier today. The Senators have a 1-0 lead through Brady Tkachuk over Matthew Tkachuk and the Florida Panthers. Flyers.
And one of the Tkachuks, it was Brady that got the first one, right? Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I was just about to say it. I was excited. I think you already said it.
I did say it. Flyers 1-0 over the Penguins. It's 2-0 Black Hawks leading the Blues. Blue Jackets have a 2-1 lead, end of one, over the New York Rangers, and 5 games still to drop the puck tonight. Wild host the Islanders. Sabres are in Nashville. Stars will be in the Shark Tank to take on the Sharks. Kraken and Flames will be the Hockey Night in Canada doubleheader. And the Ducks and Kings will do battle at 10:30 p.m.
Maybe Braden Shen will want to be traded after possibly losing to the Chicago Blackhawks.
Maybe. We can look at all the targets tonight and compare their success in this one game ahead of the deadline with the Maple Leafs. Obviously looking for that center. Centers aplenty all of a sudden, if in fact all those guys are out there, including Braden Shen.
Did anybody stand out for you on the Maple Leafs in that period?
No. Yeah. I was planning on asking you that exact same question.
Well, I beat you to it because my answer is no.
Been pretty sleepy for 4 straight periods now, right? The Maple Leafs second line of William Nylander, John Tavares, and Mitch Marner, 4 minutes and 10 seconds. 1 shot, 4 at 5-on-5.
Yikes.
25% possession. Like, it's not been overly effective, those 3. Again, we talked about in the pregame. Like to see it through. Also wouldn't be surprised if there's a change given how out of sorts everything seems to feel. Like there's just not much to offer offensively, and the shifts are not looking overly threatening. Just hasn't looked very good here in the back half of this trip.
Yeah, we could see maybe a reunion with Matthews and Marner on that top line. I would not be surprised if we get a little bit of a blender situation here to spark some offense, because Canucks have been really good on home ice against Maple Leafs, as we mentioned in the pregame show, and also Canucks have won 13 of their last 14 home games versus Maple Leafs when scoring first. So a bit of a hill to climb. A grouse grind, if you will.
There you go.
Oh,
well
nice.
played.
Nailed it. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll have the second period for you. Jim Ralph and Joe Bowen will have the call. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Check out 32 Thoughts, the podcast, brought to you by the GMC Sierra Pro Graphite. Ready to tackle any challenge, the GMC Sierra delivers power, reliability, and versatility wherever the road takes you. Finance from 0% for up to 60 months on a 2025 Sierra 1500 Pro Graphite Crew Cab while supplies last. Plus, no finance payments for up to 90 days. Visit gmccanada.ca or visit your local dealer today.
The snow conditions are here for what will be a great snowmobile season. And what could make it even better? How about the best offers we've ever had on Ski-Doo and Lynx snowmobiles? Hi, I'm Jean-Luc Lemire. Our best promotions are on. Choose 0% financing for 5 years or rebates of up to $3,000 off, or choose no payment for 6 months on all 2024 or 2025 Ski-Doos. The choice is yours, and the savings are the best we've ever had. Visit us at Energy Power Sports in Oakville today and ride now.
Wealthsimple's Big Winter Bundle is our best match offer yet. Get a 2% match when you transfer over an eligible RRSP. For a $50,000 transfer, that's a $1,000 cash bonus. Enough to buy a fancy parka. A ticket to somewhere you don't need a fancy parka. Or just be responsible and top up your retirement fund. Plus, move any other eligible account and we'll give you a 1% match. Minimum $15,000 transfer. Register by March 15th. Additional terms apply. Learn more at wealthsimple.com/match.
Canada, a land so vast, it's connected by something deeper than roads and rivers. It's connected by our voices and our stories. In 1960, Ted Rogers had a dream to build something truly Canadian. With one FM radio station in Toronto, he set out to connect a country known for its distance, but defined by its unity. We are proud to carry on that legacy today. To find out more about how you can amplify your message with true Canadian media, visit rogersportsandmedia.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
The cross in front, they score!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs trail 1-0 after the first period, which was brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit ConnexOntario.ca. I mentioned about Chris Tanev leading the league in block shots with 148. His brother Brandon leads the forwards with 87. And all I can conjure up is their dad putting them up against a wall in the garage and just shooting pucks at them.
And neither one became a goalie.
No!
That's sort of the amazing thing of all that.
Well, they've got lots of nerve and toughness and a great ability to do that, as we get a whistle right off the hop here. Leafs defend the goal to our right on your radio dial. And Kevin Lankinen, who is pitching a shutout because he hasn't had a shot on goal yet, is down to our left.
Also had a shutout in Toronto. In fact, I'm going to throw this out a little early.
Oh, fire it up. Fire it up.
After the first period, the shutout streak Vancouver against Toronto is 96 minutes and 47 seconds.
All right.
Going back to Mitch Marner's shorthanded goal early in the third period last year in Vancouver.
Played out at center ice. And we might as well throw another jinx out there. Austin Matthews in a slump. 5 games without a goal.
Longest of the season for Matthews.
Yep. Pouncing puck to the blue line. Canucks Myers gets it out at center, in on the left wing, and a shot is gloved eye high by Joseph Wall, and there's a face-off that will come in the Toronto zone.
Patrick Demko coming into this game as well had only given up 1 goal in his last 2 starts. And that was Tyler Toffoli late in San Jose. Tyler Toffoli tied it at 1. Drew O'Connor won it for the Canucks in overtime on a penalty shot. 2-1 over the Sharks, but Demko had shut out Colorado of all teams prior to that.
Leafs break out of the defensive zone, brought to the line and in. Drop pass for Nylander, closing. Nylander gets into the shooting area, drops it off with a one-timer. Oh, and out of position was Heedle wins the faceoff, and it's down into the corner. Nylander couldn't get there in time. Launched high to center ice, knocked down by Morgan Riley, but carried on now by the Canucks, and on the right side. And a pass on the right wing by O'Connor was deflected wide of the Leaf goal. Canucks have it go off a leg and out at center ice. They'll play it up on the wing and drop it back now for Peronic, and it's shot down into the Toronto zone and from the wrong side of center ice. Icing is the call, and they'll come all the way back into Vancouver territory.
Well, pretty well documented that the salary cap is going to go up next year and then probably the following year as well. And with that, would you believe, like I asked you before the game, where would you rank Quinn Hughes? Top 3, top 4 defenseman in the National Hockey League?
Yep.
He is the 24th highest paid defenseman. And his contract, $7.85 million, goes to the end of the 2025 season.
Leafs win the face-off. Myers sending it around into the corner. Holmberg couldn't get to it. Canucks break it out on the left wing and get it out at center ice.
2027 season.
Yes.
Apology for Quinn Hughes.
In over the line. Drop pass in the slot. A shot, and that was blocked by Myers. Besser after the puck in the corner. Trapped there by Myers, flipped along the wall. The Leafs are going to chip it to the line, and Robertson gets it out and plays to open ice down in Vancouver territory, but Carson Soucy is there, and the Canucks will get it out at center for Besser. Besser's pass intercepted, played quickly ahead on the right wing for Lorenz. He drops it back. Simon Benoit will shoot it in from center. Around the boards, far side, down into the corner and back of the net. Soucy propels it around the wall, and McCabe, fresh off the bench, couldn't trap it. Chris Tanev going back to the puck. Tanev starting out. Gives to his defense partner. McCabe finds his open man on the right side. It's Pacioretty who drops it back to the blue line. McCabe with a shot, blockered away by Lankinen. Puck along the boards on the near side. Lorenz able to keep it in momentarily, but the Canucks have it now in their own zone. And the battle of the crowds continuing. Good contingent from the Maple Leafs in Vancouver. Played in on the right side. Backhanded in there on a backhand by Camp that was off the blocker. Puck to the side of the net, pushed up on the wing, and it'll be launched high to center ice, where Domi tries to settle it down for Toronto. Max playing it back into his own zone. The rest of the line has been exchanged. The Matthews quartet is up at center, and it's played in. No, it wouldn't be a quartet. Yeah. Trio, thank you. Yeah, unless you got somebody playing this trombone or something. Now here is Nyes working in alone and got it to the goal, but couldn't tip it. As there's some shoving after the fact, and the face-off will come in the Vancouver zone.
We had some laughs in the Seattle game a couple of nights ago, and one of it was I thought the Matthew Nyes goal was going to be called back with a high stick. One of the things that happened, and Austin Matthews laughed at Nyes after the game,
his creativity.
Shot from the point was by Jake McCabe. Matthew Nyes deflected it. Obviously, a little bit of guilt, thinking it might have been a high stick. He let McCabe go to the bench first and do the high fives to try to sell it on the officials that he didn't touch it.
Now, do you think that when they reviewed the goal, they went to that piece of video of them going to the bench?
I don't think so. Austin Matthews laughed, saying there's 10 million camera angles and you think you're going to fool everybody.
As it turned out, goal was allowed.
Here Nyes didn't think it should have been.
No, Canucks across the line. Elias Pettersson dropping it back, a shot down his wall. And he's got the puck underneath him, or he thought he did, and the most important part of it was the referee thought he did too.
Boy, that was just under the left pad. Derek Forbort coming late. Little one-timer on a drop pass from Pettersson. And this, boy, that's just gets stuck under the left skate of
pad
Wall.
And skate. Yeah, the pad is so loose on their legs now that when they do go to the butterfly
or extend the leg.
Yeah, the leg is extended out there. Well, good save made by Wall. Still 1-0 Vancouver. Shot from the point, blockered away by Wall. Leafs get it back under control. Up on the wing it goes, and Marner launching it high to center. Settled down there by Tavares. Brought in over the line, but the Canucks get it back out at center. And now Marner will play it back into his own zone. Up on the wing for McCabe. McCabe for Nylander. Nylander circles. Works his way free from the forecheck, and here he comes. Nylander up for Tavares on the left wing. Tavares closes, sharp angle try. Couldn't get it in front of the net where Nylander was stationed. And now back come the Canucks at center ice. Elias Pettersson sends it down into the Toronto zone, and Myers will go back. Philip Myers getting it ahead. Broken stick there as Myers has his stick slashed, and the Leafs have to go back into their own zone to restore order. Benoit goes to the far side, and a pass up on the wing gets across the line for McMahon into the corner. Bobby McMahon on a knee. Gets it back to the point, but it's on a backhand try. Now along the boards, Benoit can do nothing more than to volleyball it along the wall. That is touched by a Canuck. The Leafs trying to keep it in, but it's going to come to center ice. And the Leafs have it again. Pass up the middle, though. Here's Robertson in. Had it knocked away as he goes into the corner. Gets it back again. Hooked and hauled down 10 feet away from the official, and no penalty. Brought back by Vancouver. They'll send it around back of the net. Was I wrong?
Well, let's put it this way. Even if it's a 50-50 call, Leafs are owed one.
Played to the line and in now by Holmberg. Down into the corner goes Carson Soucy. Domi couldn't stop it. Matthews gets to it quickly but couldn't find Riley. It bounces in the air and Domi couldn't keep it in as it comes into neutral ice, and Matthews and Nyes get it back. Now Matthews trying to find Nyes, but it is broken up and the Canucks get to the line, but Matthews steals it right back. Leafs with it now on the left wing board. You remember all of those guys that had t-shirts that conveniently spelled Matthews? Well, they're in attendance tonight. How you managed to get that many seats in a row in order to pull this off in various arenas, I do not know.
Well, seeing them all together,
yeah.
I'm more amazed at the fact that they spelled it right.
Shot down the ice and an icing call. I didn't say it was right. What happens when one guy's got to go to the washroom? Do you close ranks?
I don't know what you do.
No.
People are going to say, what does at-choose mean? You probably have to go en masse.
Oh, yeah. Right? No, everybody's got to go at once. Yeah, if we're all going to get beer, we're all going. Yeah, come on. Face off to the right in the Vancouver zone. Matthew Nyes with 5 goals in his last 5 games. And the Leafs need one here. They're down 1-0. And a draw won by Vancouver. Back of the net for Derek Forbert. And another errant pass. But it went off a Leaf player, so there's no icing. And McCabe sends it up the middle for Pacioretty. Crossed the line, tried to flip it in there for David Camp, who was going to the net. And it was broken up, and the Canucks bring it back. Connor Garland getting it down into the Toronto zone. Tanev carries it back at the net. Made a nifty little pass for Lorenz, and out come the Leafs, led by McCabe. McCabe hits the line with a drop pass. Pacioretty a shot, and no one could get there to redirect it. Although Lorenz gave it a good try, and Forbert and he get in a little shoving match after the catch was made by Lankinen.
Forbert threw the first right. That is only the second shot on goal for Kevin Lankinen now
guy.
in 16 minutes and 53 seconds.
We'll step aside. 1-0 in favor of the Canucks. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan on the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Visit ConnexOntario.ca.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need, when you need it, 24/7, 365, every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE. Your shipping and
What's up, hockey fans? Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. Now is the time of the show for you to let us know where you are watching from in the chat. Speaking of which, where's Tom? Tom!
I'm right here, Dad.
Oh, good.
And I also wonder where you are from, just like my father.
So let us know in the chat what city and province in Canada, city and state in the United States, or all over the world, where you're watching from. And thank you for hanging out with us and participating in the chat. Now let's get back to the hockey.
We'll see you in the chat.
Go Leafs, go!
49 years ago yesterday, Darryl Sittler banged in a bunch of them in a 10-point night against the Boston Bruins. Long shot deflects wide. Tavares got it freed up, banked by Marner to the blue line. He gets it back again. Marner, a little saucered pass that was intercepted, and the Canucks bring it into the Toronto zone with a pass on the right wing and a shot deflected wide of the Leafs goal. It comes back to the point, worked into the corner on the far side. Leafs unable to get to it, but as it goes back to the net, it's intercepted by Toronto, then stolen back, and then stolen again, and now pushed into the corner. Round back of the net, Tavares trying to get to his man, knocks him down. The puck goes into the far side, grabbed off by Jake DeBrusk. DeBrusk will send it back around the boards, back of the net. Canucks trying to get it in front. It comes back to the blue line to Myers. Myers dishing it off on the near boards. Looking in front, Sherwood trying to get a pass. That's blocked. It goes to Myers again. Closing with a shot. Rang off the goal post. The Leafs don't get it out though. Puck still down in the Toronto zone. Nylander had broken, looking for a breakaway as it comes back into the Toronto end. And now here's Riley getting it ahead to Willie. Nylander circling through center. Has it in over the line as the Leafs are in the midst of a change. He'll ring it around the boards for Domi, but it comes back to the point. Myers can't shoot it at the net. Domi has it into the corner, coming out in front with a shot. Matthews stopped there by Lankinen. Puck got back to the point for Benoit. In front with a redirect there by Matthews. It didn't work. And the Canucks get it out at center ice. They'll regroup it now with 11 and a half minutes to go in the second period. Still 1-0. Philip Hronek's opening goal in the first period is the only one on the board. Matthews against the wall, dropping it back. Misreading that was Myers, but he goes back and takes his man into the boards. He has the puck on his skate. Dug free by Matthews. Matthews can't get it up the boards much. Now Nyes fails to make contact, but he's able to push it out into neutral ice at least. Brought in by Garland again, and it's down into the corner. Wall out of the net to chop it around the boards. Domi took a swipe at it, but it goes around back of the net once more. Played up on the far wing. Myers for Toronto. Banks it behind the net, and Benoit will start. Slowly up the left wing boards. He'll get to center, and in it goes. Around on the far side. Derek Forbert for Hronek, who launches it high into neutral ice, forcing Tanev back in his own zone. Tanev had his pass intercepted. Here the Canucks try to work it back to the blue line. They do with a shot. That's just off the mark. Trying to come out in front with it was Höglander. He couldn't come up with it. And the Maple Leafs get it ahead to Robertson, who just does find center ice. He'll come in on the left wing for McCabe. Drop pass and a long shot blocked. Big rebound, though, in front of the goal. And no one could get a clean shot at it.
And that was a big rebound, wasn't it, from Lankinen? Simple wrist shot from the left wing side.
McCabe for Tanev. Back in the Toronto end, back of the net. 1-0 in favor of the Vancouver Canucks. Last game before the Four Nations tournament. And a break for a lot of these guys. Played down into the zone. Chance to heal and get regenerated. Puck comes back to the point. Ekman Larsson's shot went by. Big rebound. Riley trying and sprawling across. Lankinen may have got a piece of that. Back for Pacioretty. Played down into the left wing corner. Camp goes in there, but Myers reverses the puck, and the Canucks are going to get it freed up on the right wing. Pretty good hit in the near corner, I believe. Yes, it was. Backhanded out at center ice by Toronto, and Pacioretty's across the line. Stops up, drops it off left wing side. Riley closes. Deflection in front. Oh, and Lorenz couldn't get a free shot at it before Lankinen was able to get a glove on top of it.
I'm not saying
was that Lorenz with the hit earlier?
I believe it was. I'm not saying Lankinen can't battle through this and get a win for the Canucks, but boy, he looks like he's fighting it just a bit. Tough coming into a game, especially halfway through the opening period.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
With MSC Cruises, discover big on a mini getaway or treat yourself to a week-long vacation. For a limited time, book now and enjoy up to 35% off cruises, plus kids sail free. Sail to the turquoise waters of the Bahamas with stops at our private island, Ocean Key MSC Marine Reserve, or experience the beauty of the Caribbean and more destinations. MSC Cruises, for a greater beauty. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
At Newboro, we develop unique plans so people can unlock the equity in their home. Unique like this one. It's called the Aaron and Catherine Plan. Aaron was in the middle of selling his small business and wanted to pay off some debt. Truth is, big banks are not too keen on small business. So we developed a plan that was the perfect fit. Because as we see it, you're anything but small. Reach out today. We'll work side by side to unlock the equity in your home.
Use your home to get a loan with Newboro.
License 13115.
Orthotics.
Footwear.
Orthotics.
Footwear.
Guys, enough. Kintec are experts in orthotics and footwear. It's what sets them apart. By tailoring orthotics to your shoes and shoes to your orthotics, you get comfort and support designed just for you.
Oh, so it's orthotics and footwear working together.
Like peanut butter and jelly.
You got it.
Or sushi and milk.
Is that a thing?
PB&J.
Sushi and milk.
Oh, boy.
Kintec footwear and orthotics.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Mark Curtin doing such a great job for ALS. Don't miss out on part 2 of the ALS Courage to Fight campaign. The ALS Super Auction online from now until February 20th, where you'll have a chance to bid on incredible NHL game time experiences and various other items from all 32 teams. And you can go to alssuperfund.ca to find out more information and to participate in a great cause to find a cure for ALS.
A great cause, but what a great battle Mark Curtin is putting up.
Oh, boy. He is the prize of the Leafs alumni, for sure. Leafs get it in across the line. Flip it along the boards. Trying to keep it alive. Marner does to Tavares. He doesn't shoot it. Now when he does, it's deflecting high. And calling for the fair catch is Kevin Lankinen, and he'll glove that to bring a face-off again in the Vancouver zone. Trent Knorr and Brandon Grolitz are the linesmen. We mentioned Graham Skilliter and Chris Schnelker are the referees tonight.
I don't know why I have trouble saying Lankinen.
I don't know why you would either.
It doesn't roll off.
No, it doesn't. You have difficulty with it?
By the way, let's throw this out. Last Vancouver shutout.
Oh, here we go.
When the Leafs have been in Vancouver, Roberto Luongo, November 2nd, 2013.
A few years ago.
Yeah.
Thank you. And right now,
I can say Luongo.
Thatcher Demko and Kevin Lankinen are sharing a shutout. Here are the Leafs in across the line. Riley, whose parents are in attendance with a shot taken by Nyes, has it go high. Riley on the far board sends it back in, but it's going to go off a stick and into the screen. Morgan Riley, of course, from British Columbia.
Now, you know the last Vancouver shutout in Toronto until this year?
We are milking this, aren't we?
Yeah.
I love it. Go for it. Go for it.
You look
no,
up
it's
one,
not
then
like
you
we're
see the other.
jinxing anything. No, go ahead.
Dunk Wilson. So up until Vancouver shut out the Leafs this year.
The dunkster?
Yeah.
Wow.
Kevin Lankinen, and it was a 0-0 game.
Wow. Leafs win the draw. Riley into the slot with a shot. That was blocked before it reached the goal. Matthews in the corner. Matthews still with it. Matthews works into the slot, drops it back. Long shot goes high and wide of the goal off the stick of OEL. And it is going to be played out and down the ice by Vancouver. But no, wow. Bit of a gift on the icing there. Yeah, I'd agree. Beaver Sherwood was neck and neck with Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and the Leaf defenseman got the nod.
I hope the officials didn't say, okay, we good now? No, you still need the power play back.
Well, it was close.
They're very...
now, when they get to the dot...
top of the circle, dot.
Yeah. It's not the end, the goal line. Because that's where all of the collisions and bad injuries happen. Puck comes back to the blue line, but it comes out at center ice. And Tanev will get it to Jake McCabe, and he's going to wire it around the boards. Lankinen slowed it up a bit, but the Leafs get onto it. Chip it around the boards to the near side. McCabe pinches to get Marner the puck. It comes in front. Tavares couldn't deliver a backhand. Tanev kept it in momentarily, but the Canucks were able to break it out at center. Brought in on the right wing side by Kiefer Sherwood. Sherwood will send it around back of the net. Tanev blocks that. Got it away from 2 forecheckers, and the Leafs get it out with a pass too far for Tavares, and an icing call will come against Toronto to bring it back into the Leaf end of the rink.
Well, I don't know what the Vancouver Canucks have been doing to the Leafs defensively, but they've really been limiting Toronto's chances. Even the 3-0 win earlier, Vancouver in Toronto, shots were 20-18, favoring the Leafs. Here the Leafs only 12 shots on goal, 7:01 to go here in the second period.
There's a lot of booing that night in Toronto, as I recall. Nylander through center. Flips it high into the glove of Lankinen. He dishes it off. The forecheckers can't get after it, and the Canucks get to center. Then flip it in out of the net. Nicely played by Wall to play it around the boards out at center ice. And the Leafs turn back up ice with Benoit leading the rush. Drops for Robertson. Robertson alley-oops it high into the corner. It may have gone off the glove of Benoit. Play goes on, though. Back to the point. Robertson with a shot, and that was steered wide of the net by Lankinen. Canucks get it out at center. Leafs have had a better second period. Myers tackled from behind. And now the Leafs with a pass up on the left wing. Brought on now by Bobby McMahon. McMahon dropping it back. Holmberg trying to play it around the boards. Couldn't find McMahon. The Canucks are able to bank it out and get it to center and back into the Leaf end with Garland providing some forechecking pressure there. Up against the boards is Ekman Larsson. He got it to Holmberg. Holmberg's backhand pass gets ahead, and Robertson is through center. A pass in on the left wing for O'Reilly. His shot is on goal, but an easy save for Lankinen. And the Canucks have it back of the net with 5:44 to go in the second period. Still 1-0 Vancouver. Back down into the Toronto zone. Riley, a pass up on the left wing. Pacioretty flips it to the line, but not in. Brought on by OEL. OEL with a shot. That was stopped the rebound. Unable to deliver the shot, though, was Lorenz. Lorenz getting it back to the point. Shot taken this time is blocked by Lankinen. In against the boards, Tanev. Kept it alive, but it'll be grabbed by Carson Soucy of the Canucks. Played it back into the corner, and the Leafs are on it again. They're going to leave it there for Tanev. Tanev plays it back at the net for Lorenz. They play catch with it. Tanev with it again. Back to Lorenz. Back into the slot. Closing with a shot. Pacioretty. And that was stopped by Lankinen and cleared into the Toronto zone. Best couple of shifts the Leafs have had. Domi. Up on the wing and in on the right side for Nyes. Domi then couldn't help him out to back it in further, and it's cleared to the blue line. Canucks get it down into the Toronto zone. Drew O'Connor taken to the boards, and Matthews looks up ice, and he finds Max Domi, who will carry to center. Domi works to the left wing side, drops it off for Nyes. Back in for Domi. Domi in against the boards, comes away with it. Looks for Nyes. Nyes overskated the puck. Now gets it back again. Centered in front. Matthews dropping it back. Myers a shot wide. And that goes into the far boards and cleared high to center ice. Canucks back in over the line. Driving the net here is Sherwood. And it went wide of the goal. Myers works it back of the net with a pass to OEL. Ekman Larsson got it ahead and played it off a stick into the Vancouver end. 3:54 to go. Still 1-0 Vancouver. Played high to center ice. Down into the zone it goes for Tanev. Tanev around back of the net. Hauled down from behind. Grabbed off by Vancouver. The Leafs have not had a power play in this game, as a close play on an offside there ruled onside for Vancouver. The Leafs come out with the puck. They'll break out with Tavares. Tavares to center. Works to the left wing side and shot in and around the boards it'll go. Cut off there by the Canucks and played back of the net. Tavares got in there to tip it away. Hronek gets it back. Backhands it high to the far wing, and the Canucks will play it in over the line. Garland stops up, doesn't shoot it. Garland stick handling with it. Ekman Larsson facing him, but it comes around the boards. Leafs won't be able to get it out with that effort, but now Myers keeps it in with a long shot. That got through. That was stopped. The puck comes in front of the goal. Scrambling for it, and it goes wide. Comes back to the point. Here's Myers holding. Gets it into the slot area. Best shift the Canucks have had. Darlin trying to come out in front. Blocked away there by Joseph Wall. Centering pass. Wall got it away. Leafs need to get it free, and they do. And they'll get it to Bobby McMahon. And he's going to shoot it down into Vancouver territory and take a hit in doing so. Benoit back in the Toronto zone. Couldn't play it up the boards cleanly. He's taken his man to the wall. The puck is up against the boards. Marner couldn't help out. Pontus Holmberg gets high stick, and there's going to be a penalty here to Vancouver.
Not a great penalty for the Canucks in the Leafs zone. And I think this was an attempted stick lift. And Pontus Holmberg took the brunt of it. And with 2:10 to go in the second period, the Leafs finally go in the power play for the first time. But boy, Joseph Wall had to be pretty acrobatic and tight. Vancouver, as you mentioned, Joe, best shift of the period. 2 or 3 great scoring chances.
Back with the Leaf power play, trailing 1-0. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
The Subaru winter has arrived. The crisp air and negative temperatures mean one thing: camping. Emerge from your icy tent and bask in 4 to 6 hours of sunlight. Enjoy the unmistakable smell of campfire through the glacial wind pummeling your face. Relax by the water, taking in the soothing sounds of thick ice cracking and popping. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Visit your local Subaru dealer today.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Back to the point. Willie with a one-timer scores!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs to the power play, trailing 1-0. 2:10 to play in the period.
Vancouver penalty kill's been good of late. 9 of 10 they've killed off the last 5.
Matthews to Marner. He overskated the puck, gets it back, flips it for Tavares. It goes to the open wing and diving to knock it out at center. The Canucks get it down into the Toronto zone. Marner will start back up ice. He has Matthews ahead of him as he carries to center, then drops it back for Willie. Nylander with speed hitting the line and across. He goes into the right wing boards. Stops up at the half wall. Got it back for Matthews. Matthews looking back to the blue line. Elects to go back down the boards. Cuts down low. A centering pass. Went off a stick and went wide. Nylander into the corner. Near side. Tried to get it in front. Tavares, a shot right on. That was stopped by Lankinen, who was a little uncomfortable to get knocked down. And no one there to really get a rebound.
He didn't know where it was.
No,
he looked to his left and it bounced back to the right.
Nylander in on the left wing with a shot. That went off a leg and went wide and to the far side. Backhanded down the boards by Kiefer Sherwood. 58 seconds left in the power play. Minute 6 in the period. Marner dropping it back. Play comes ahead with Domi in across the line to shoot it in. Around the boards far side. Leafs trying to get numbers there. It's grabbed off by Bobby McMahon. McMahon gets it back along the boards for Ekman Larsson, but his pass for Riley was out of his reach. Morgan Riley has to go back to center. He'll get it in on the right side for Pacioretty. Pacioretty hands it back to Riley, cutting into the slot. Riley still with it. Pass in front of the net. Oh, and McMahon missed it. And then a centering feed, and McMahon couldn't tip it. Back to the point to Riley. Far side for OEL. Back it goes to Riley. Riley to Domi. Domi shot! No one in front of the net. McMahon was trying to tip it from the side, but Lankinen a fairly easy save as he takes it on the chest.
Well, Bobby McMahon, probably the best opportunities there. Like we said a little earlier, Tavares fires it off the left pad of Lankinen, and he looks over his left shoulder, but the puck bounced back to his right.
Yeah, he fell right on his rump and couldn't move, right?
Matthews lined back out here to finish the period with Marner and Nyes up front.
22.6 seconds left in the period. A dozen seconds in the power play. The Leafs have won the draw. Marner on the near half boards. Gets it into the slot. Riley holds. Middle of the ice. One of the Canucks has broken a stick. Leafs have got it down low. Centering pass. Oh, Nyes missed another drive there by Matthews. Went wide. 7 seconds left. Shot by. They score! Riley from the far side. Morgan Riley gives the Leafs the tie. It'll be an even strength goal, but the veteran has tied the game at ones.
Craig Berube goes right back to the big boys. 5 forwards on the first unit, but here late in the period, Riley and Ekman-Larsson instrumental in retrieving the puck. Ekman-Larsson from below the goal line to the left of Lankinen throws it out the top of the circle. Onto the stick of Morgan Riley, and with traffic in front, he just lets this go. I think this has to go 5-hole, doesn't it?
I think so.
On Lankinen. And the Leafs have tied it here in the dying moments. As we mentioned, Vancouver gave up a late goal against San Jose in the third period to have the game tied before the Canucks won it in overtime. Here it's a late goal by the Leafs in the second period that get them on the board and snap that shutout streak.
You know, you're just cruel. You're really cruel. I'm going to tell all the Vancouver Canuck fans how you jinxed them through this. That was just nasty, and I loved it.
You know what's worse? To show you.
You think it works?
And you know my mind. Like sometimes I drift. I start going one way. Mm-hmm. So I was trying to find the last time the Leafs were shut out in Vancouver. It was Roberto Luongo in 2013. The last Vancouver shutout in Toronto was Dunk Wilson before this year, before Lankinen did it. A 0-0 tie. Dunk Wilson against Bernie Braun.
Wow.
And I just couldn't stop looking stuff up after.
You get down that rabbit hole, you can't get out.
Oh, I know.
Well, we've got a 1-1 tie. Morgan Riley tying the game at 19:55 of the second period. And we'll have Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert take you through our intermission. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
It's your business. You built it yourself. Let Rogers Sports and Media help to make it grow. There's now an easy way to get your business on the air with our radio station or our entire audio network. It's called Rogers Sports and Media Ad Manager. Designed for businesses of all sizes, RSM Ad Manager is self-serve and simple. Get a $250 ad credit to get started, and your audio can be produced at no extra cost. Visit grow.rogersportsandmedia.com for details.
It was a rainy day in Pizzaville when we realised that our extra-large pizza is 2 whole inches longer than the so-called extra-large from the big pizza conglomerates. How do they even call theirs extra-large when Pizzaville gives you 18 whopping inches, steaming hot? Because, let's be honest, who wouldn't want 2 more inches?
Pizzaville Stone-Baked Pizza. Fiercely Canadian. Authentically Italian.
We are gathered here today to celebrate life's big milestones. Do you promise to stand together through home purchases, auto upgrades, and surprise dents and dings?
We do.
To embrace life's big moments for any adorable co-drivers down the road?
We do.
Then, with the caring support of Desjardins Insurance, I pronounce you covered for home, auto, and flexible life insurance.
For life's big milestones, get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care.
We all know things tend to break when you need them most, like your furnace breaking down in the middle of a cold snap. That's why Enercare is offering a free furnace checkup for homeowners in the GTA. That's a $99 value. If your furnace has any issues, our EnerCare experts can fix it, or we can get you a new one as soon as the next day. Don't get stuck shivering. Keep your home comfortable with EnerCare. Terms and conditions apply. Visit enercare.ca.
EnerCare. Experts at home.
The Subaru winter has arrived. The crisp air and negative temperatures mean one thing: camping. Emerge from your icy tent and bask in 4 to 6 hours of sunlight. Enjoy the unmistakable smell of campfire through the glacial wind pummeling your face. Relax by the water, taking in the soothing sounds of thick ice cracking and popping. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Visit your local Subaru dealer today.
Scott McGilvery here. Noise from surrounding units can be an issue when it comes to condos. That's why I use DMX One Step 2.0. Its high sound rating ensures your floors are quiet and comfortable. DMX One Step 2.0 can be laid under most types of flooring, and it couldn't be easier to use. Installation requires no carpentry tools, and it's a breeze when it comes to cutting around kitchen cabinets. DMX One Step 2.0. No mold, no cold. Find it at Home Depot and Rona.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate online at carsforkids.ca. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll benefit a child and get a maximum tax credit.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today, and your car can be gone tomorrow.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
He scores! 5-home goal!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
7 seconds left. Shot by. They score! Riley from the far side. Morgan Riley gives the Leafs the tie. It'll be an even strength goal, but the veteran has tied the game at ones.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert. And Morgan Riley gets a big one in his hometown with his parents in the stands to tie it up 1-1. And that was a much-needed goal for the Leafs. A little invigoration in that period.
You called it 11-1 in the Bet365 segment for Ailish Forfar. That's how it's done. 11-1 with the not a revenge goal, homecoming goal. I suppose.
I'll take a revenge OEL.
Is the angle
double down here?
Interesting to see. Yeah, interesting to see the third version of a power play produce a goal. Yeah. I don't think we see that too often. Of course, we get the 5 forwards to start.
Scraps.
Then we get the rest of the secondary scoring brigade out for the second power play. And then you got a unit with 2 defensemen, Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Morgan Riley, and Austin Matthews and Matthew Nyes and Mitch Marner. I don't know if that was all by design, but they
were just peppering pucks. I think that was actually the best.
But it was just like urgency late in the power play, and it all of a sudden it had Lankinen scrambling around the core structure for the defensive players for the Canucks was faltering, and they ended up getting the equalizing goal late in the period to cap off what was a pretty good run of shifts. It was looking kind of like, what's going on here for the first 30 minutes of the game? Like it's 1-2-3 Cancun first 30 minutes of this game. But the back half of that period, the Maple Leafs did come on. They were definitely activated. They definitely looked better in the back half. And I would say that they deserved to get the equalizer, setting up an interesting third period.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned that third iteration of the power play. I think urgency needs to go through all levels of the power play because it actually has been pretty good power play for the last stretch. Like we talked about in the Kraken game, they were on a little bit of a hot streak, but it was almost just like, all right, let's throw things on net. Let's disrupt the format of the PK. The PK knows what you're going to do, so they set up in a way that they're structured for. But when you kind of go out there and you just mess around with the plan and you just get pucks on net and you create chaos, that's when you're going to score. And I thought that was obviously it's a even strength goal, but it counts as a power play goal in my heart because it was generated by just having that opportunity to take advantage, and Riley gets one, and that's going to be huge for him. I feel really good that he gets one because it's been a long time coming. A lot of discourse around Morgan Riley in these parts, and I think he's looked a little better on this road trip. Maybe it's just getting out of the routine and getting on the road. And apparently Craig Berube had a really good chat with him. I don't know. We talked about that at the Kraken game on Thursday, but he just feels like he's contributing a little bit more on the score sheet, obviously, but even just the way he's playing, looking like he's got a little bit more pep in his step.
Yeah, I think I can subscribe to that. I don't know. I think it's a little bit hard to parse. And I think maybe the criticism definitely valid, but there are moments when it's just like, okay, there are other things happening on the ice, and Morgan Rielly is the one to pick out because Morgan Rielly might be that guy this year based on a season in which he hasn't met expectations. And I don't know how much more he's been above the normal Morgan Rielly on this trip, how good or how close he is to what we've accustomed over the years. But when there are no negative plays and you do score a goal like he has tonight, you can feel far better about what he's offering out there. And of course, it coming in front of his parents in Vancouver is a good thing as well. Shout out to Pontus Holmberg, by the way, 20th drawn penalty on the year to set up the power play that almost produced a goal. As you mentioned, it was even strength. But he's like the new Bunting, except referees won't be trying to penalize him next year because I don't think he's doing anything in terms of wrongdoing, I should say. Like he's baiting the officials like Michael Bunting was criticized over. So I think it's just hard work with Pontus Holmberg. This guy's not the most talented player in the world by far. But if you work hard, good things can happen, and you can help produce some offense by setting your offensive players up in some advantageous situations.
There was a quote from Craig Berube on why Pontus Holmberg has been able to draw so many penalties, and this is pregame, which now he's at 20, as you mentioned. He says, it's the way he can hang on to pucks. He's strong on the puck, down low in the offensive zone. It's hard to get him off of it, and he draws a lot of penalties that way. That's why he has drawn so many. You know, Pontus Holmberg has been easily a guy that we've circled as, what do you say you do here? But what you say you do here is give the team a lot of opportunities on the power play. That's something. I don't know if it's enough to keep you in the top, in the bottom. Like, I don't know. He's polarizing, I think. But you can't complain with the opportunity you've been given your team. That's 20 penalties drawn. It's got to be most on the team, probably close to most in the league. I just sometimes wonder, what else do you say you do here?
Yeah, he's definitely a replaceable player. He's not going to take guys out of the lineup because he's able to draw some penalties, maybe more so than Austin Matthews go on down the line. The fact that he's got 20 is impressive, and that's maybe the most endearing quality of Pontus Holmberg. But the ways to improve this roster, one of the avenues is through replacing Pontus Holmberg, and I don't think that changes despite him, showcasing one of those skills tonight.
Let's take a quick break. We have a lengthy out-of-town scoreboard to get to and get you set for the third period. It's 1-1 tie. After 40, you're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
The 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid is here, and it may sound too good to be true. With a 2-liter 4-cylinder backed by 2 electric motors, giving a combined 200 horsepower, it's our most powerful and fuel-efficient Civic ever. Plus, with an estimated range of over 800 kilometers and available features like a Bose premium sound system, your crew will love it too. Huh, maybe it should be called the Civic 2.0. Redefine your drive with the 2025 Civic Hybrid. Visit your Ontario Honda dealer and test drive yours today.
Over to our Sideline Reporter now, the app, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
At last, the Subaru winter is here. It's the perfect weather for the beach. Feel the sun's rays on the small amount of skin peeking out of your ski mask.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE. your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
Four Nations Faceoff for the world to see. International Best on Best hockey is back as NHL stars compete for their country to see which hockey nation will reign.
Star power in abundance.
Canada, Finland, Sweden, USA. Teammates turned rivals and rivals turned teammates. For country, for glory, Four Nations.
We are set for puck drop.
The Four Nations Faceoff begins Wednesday on Sportsnet.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Domi in front for Tavares. He scores!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfar, Justin Cuthbert 1-1 after 40 minutes between the Leafs and the Canucks. Kevin Lankinen in net for the remainder of this game. Thatcher Demko ruled out. So that is not a good feeling if you're a Canucks fan, because he's had a lengthy list of injuries and you hope it's not a long one.
Yeah, confusing things, nagging things that the medical staff doesn't quite completely understand. That's never really a good thing. So him exiting the game under mysterious circumstances is it's not a great look for the Vancouver Canucks.
Okay, let's take a look at the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit ConnexOntario.ca.
Let's do it. Hurricanes beat up on the Utah Hockey Club behind 4 points from Seth Jarvis, who will be representing Canada over the next couple weeks. A 7-3 final there. Lightning got a 6-3 victory over the Detroit Red Wings. Devils 4-0 over the Canadians, who have cooled off in the Atlantic Division, and the Golden Knights 4-3 over the Boston Bruins. Games ongoing now. Panthers have extended their lead over the Senators. It's 4-1 after 40 minutes. Flyers are up 2-1 on the Penguins end of 40. Still 3-2 Blues over the Blackhawks. That is in the third period. Wild and Islanders are 1-1 after 1. Blue Jackets have a 3-2 lead after 40 minutes over the New York Rangers. Sabres and Predators
I got
end of
some
1
down
tied
here.
at 2. And still to come tonight, the Stars
I just
will
need
be in
ice
San
and
Jose to
scotch
take on
in
the
my
Sharks.
cup.
Kraken will
I
be in
thought-
Calgary
I don't know
to
where
take
it
on
is
the Flames.
upstairs. There's
And the
more
Ducks
upstairs.
and Kings will be the nightcap
I don't know.
tonight.
Okay, 1-1 tie after 40 minutes. Morgan Riley getting a goal in his hometown. It's only the second time he's ever scored in Vancouver. So glad to be a part of witnessing a small piece of history.
You're a big part of it.
That was a big
Thanks,
part.
babe.
Called it.
I called it. All right, third period about to happen. Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph have the call for you. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
Joe and Lucy needed a new roof and reached out to Alpine Credits. I flew over to help them with a home renovation loan. I suggested they transform their house into a giant robot head, beams that shoot from the eyes. Pew, pew. Instead, they just went with shingles. But it's pretty glorious. Own your home, need a loan, Alpine
What's up, insiders? How we doing? Oh my goodness, where is my webcam? This is driving me nuts with this new computer. Second angle, nope. It's just gone. There it is. All right. What's up, insiders? Cheers to a 1-1 hockey game after 2. The Leafs tie it up. Great to see everybody here in the chat tonight. Yeah, Mike's coughing. I know, hot Mike. I was coming on to speak, guys. Thank you for telling me. I appreciate it there. You're like, hey, what is this getting in the way of the hockey game here? What is this business? All right, the Coke is poured. It's time to watch the third period. I can't remember which camera I have hooked up here, but great to see everybody. Thank you, Andrew Hurd, for the gifted membership. Cheers for the gift. Appreciate that. What a night here on TSI already. Wow. I can't even tell you guys. It has been so amazing. So tonight, my son Tom, who's been here doing his thing, he played in a soccer game at the place where it kind of all started. I was coaching, and he was out in the field, and then we kind of met some great people in soccer, and the rest has been history. But that was crazy. And from the sidelines there, as Tom was out in goal, I put the post out after Joe had said that Brody was home from SickKids Hospital, and that is such great news. And it was just awesome for me to hear that there. And then the post that Joe retweeted during intermission. The man is unbelievable. He's on Twitter during intermission. Let's get back to the hockey. They're bringing it back here for the third period. 1-1. Go Leafs, go. Go TSI, go. Go SickKids Football Frenzy, go tomorrow night. It's going to be fun. The last night to get your donations in for the Football Frenzy. We'll see you guys back in the chat. Go Leafs, go.
This was my first coach in pro hockey, or second coach, I guess, Orland Kurtenbach.
Orland Kurtenbach, right, yeah. Well, they've got two statues outside of the building that are favorites for me as a long shot is taken by Lankinen off the stick of Marner. And one is, of course, the great Pat Quinn, who was a dear friend of ours, who did so much work for the Vancouver Canucks and, of course, played for them after he went out there in the expansion draft. And Roger Nielsen, famous holding up the towel in Chicago, right? Surrendering to the officials after a number of bad calls. And then, of course, a lot of towels came out when they went back to Vancouver.
And that really started the trend, didn't it?
Yep.
Where arenas handing out towels for playoff games now.
Yeah, exactly. I got another story that I'll follow up on when we get a chance here. Leafs with it in the offensive zone. Matthews gets it over on the right side for Tanev. Shot in traffic off the shoulder of Lankinen. Back of the net, Nyes couldn't get a stick on it. Matthews chases it down. Myers with a grab on him as it comes back to the blue line. Kept in by Toronto. A long shot deflects wide of the goal. Matthews and Marner after it in the near corner. Marner trying to pry it free. Nyes trying to help out. Now Myers for Vancouver can't get it up the boards cleanly and finally comes away with it and plays it back of his own goal. Marner's in pursuit there, but it is Höglander who will bring it out at center. Oh, no, it's one of the Pettersson boys, and it's shot down into the Toronto zone. Haven't said much of them, and there's three of them.
Marner back with Matthews and Nyes, though, to start the period.
Right back down into the Toronto zone. Wall plays it off on the wing, and it is cleared out into neutral ice. And it is Nylander trying to find Oliver Ekman-Larsson. He'll have to chase it down back of his goal. Gets it around the boards. Off a skate. It comes right in front of the goal. A shot. Oh, and a good glove save made by Wall. He made that look easy, and it wasn't, as he caught it and makes a save there to bring a face-off in the Toronto zone.
Filipino was the one as the Leafs tried to ring it around and got blocked, but everybody had gone to the far boards looking for the puck, and then it was just funneled out into the slot, and Heedle's wide open between the hash marks, and Wall doesn't flinch.
No,
he doesn't move.
No, boom, right in the glove. Finished the towel story. A couple of years later, Leafs are playing in Chicago, and behind the bench they had hockey laces draped down, and they would put towels over the hockey laces so that you would have a towel available. Well, Pat Burns was coaching, and he got into an agitated state over a call, and a button on his suit jacket caught onto the hockey laces. And as he was waving his arm at the official, all of the towels were waving, and he got a bench minor because of that episode. So remember that fondly in Chicago. Leafs back down to the side of the goal, couldn't get it in front of the net. And they'll chip it out now for Vancouver to get it into neutral ice. A 1-1 tie. Leafs trying to go perfect on this road trip. And it doesn't look like they're going to be in first place no matter what happens here, because the Florida Panthers got a pretty sizable lead going against Ottawa. Centering pass went right through the blue paint. Back to the point, kept in there by Hronek. It comes in front of the net. The Leafs take it away. And in need of a change, it's flipped to center ice, but not far enough maybe for all of them to get exchanged. Pontus Holmberg can't get it out. Kept in by Garland and around back of the net. That was out of the reach of Dakota Joshua. It'll come back around to the near side. Garland with it again. Shot from a sharp angle. Wall had that handled well. And the pass breaks the Leafs out at center ice. Bringing it through center and into the zone is the Maple Leafs. Robertson comes in front of the net. Couldn't get a shot. And when he does, he tries to get it in front, but was tripped up Played back into the slot area. No shot. It's grabbed off by Camp, who gets it back to the net. Nick Robertson could easily have drawn 3 penalties in this game and hasn't been able to get any. Back of the net. Leafs with it again. Into the slot area for Riley. Back to the left point. Shot coming. Blocked in front of the goal. And it'll be pushed by Elias Pettersson out at center ice. Leafs get it to the line and out. And Elias Pettersson brings it in offside. And a face-off coming in neutral ice.
Well, that last one, too, looked like it was a pretty easy tripping call. Robertson tried to spin away from his man. Only 2 minors in the game. 1 to each team. The one on Philip Myers was marginal at best. And then there was a high stick they had to call when Pontus Holmberg got clipped in his own end.
And the Leafs, who are outshot for the first half of the game, now have a 22-19 advantage in shots. Puck down in the Vancouver zone is shot down into the Leaf end, but no icing. Tanev hustles back. Tried to play it up the boards. That was blocked. It comes in front of the net. It's still free. And Marner takes it to safety back of the net. He'll get it to Tanev in the left wing corner. He falls down. But Tanev back on his skates finds Marner. And Marner will get it on the wing. And now Tanev starts out with it. A couple of really tight 2 passes there that got the Leafs out of trouble when Tanev kind of blew a tire out at center ice. Myers couldn't intercept the pass. Brought in over the line by Vancouver. Shot on the short side. Stopped by Wall. And the Leafs break it out now with Nylander. Nylander coming to center with a pass off on the wing. Myers couldn't get it in deep for him. And curling with it is Höglander. And he starts back up ice. Höglander in on the right side with a shot. That went wide of the goal. Rebound back to the point. Trying to keep it alive. Patterson with a shot. Gloved by Wall. And with the Bluger kind of doing a snow angel through the blue paint. Knocks down Wall a little bit.
I tell you, Austin Matthews could have picked up a holding penalty, too, on that last rush by Vancouver. As he seemed to let go of the stick and get his hand on the shoulder of the Vancouver player coming down the left wing side. As you mentioned, the shots on goal now 22-19. Favoring the Toronto Maple Leafs 14-6 in the second period.
Drop pass back to the point. Pettersson hits the goal post. Rebound stopped by Wall. Cleared by the Maple Leafs and out and down the ice. Icing waved off. Played out at center ice again by Vancouver. Good hit there by Ekman Larsson. Frees it up for Morgan Riley, who'll ring it around the boards and back out into neutral ice. Canucks go back. Hronek dropping it back. 1-1 tie. Third period in Vancouver. Played out at center and the Leafs intercept. Brought right back in by Max Domi. Domi gets it on the wing for Holmberg. Holmberg back to the point. Ekman Larsson along the boards for Domi. Domi backhanding it around back of the goal. Leafs have juggled the lines again here, and the Canucks are able to come away with it in their own zone, and it's brought to center ice with a pass in on the wing for Garland. Garland works into the slot area, curls back to the half boards, works back of the net to send it around the wall, but the only person there is Bobby McMahon. He finds Domi. Domi with a diagonal shoot in for McMahon. Oh, that was a clever little play by Max Domi. And McMahon got a pretty good scoring chance off of it. That was a good pool shot, Mr. Ralph.
Yeah, it's a 2-on-2 break with Domi and McMahon having speed into the Vancouver zone, and Domi middle of the ice. Kind of rifles it wide off the backboards to the right of Lankin and right back out of McMahon. But yeah, Tyler Myers got there just as McMahon was letting it go, and that slowed it up enough. Although sometimes so could like a change-up for goaltenders, too, where it can actually give you a lot of trouble, but Lankinen was in good position.
Second best pool shot we've seen this year.
Austin Matthews, the empty netter.
Yeah, the empty netter is the best one, yeah. That was one banking in. That was perfect. Played up along the boards, cut off by the Leafs. Matthews keeps it in. Nyes goes around back of the net. Nyes trying to get away from Myers. Got it in front for Marner. And then a shot by Matthews was blocked. Elias Pettersson sends a long shoot in on Joseph Wall. Leafs up on the wing for Nyes. Protects it nicely. Then a pass for Marner. Marner had it stripped away. Brought back in now by Sherwood. Sherwood rolls it in front of the goal. The Leafs have numbers in front. Do a great job of knocking it away. But Matthews now just is able to get it to center ice. Hronek brings it back in over the line. Pettersson on the left wing. Drop pass and a shot. That was high and wide of the goal. Nylander trying to chop it out but fails. Played right back in high into the corner. Or did it? No, where did the puck go? Well, the cameraman and me lost it. Well, more importantly, the cameraman lost it because we couldn't see it on our monitor. Here's a chance now for the Canucks in front of the goal. Good block made there by Benoit. And a bank pass. It's Willie. Breakaway in a goal. Face zone. Poked off his stick as he mishandled it just as he was trying to make the D.
Boy, he just hesitated, didn't he? It looked like he changed his mind at the last second. And Lankinen threw the stick out and got a piece of it.
14th breakaway of the season for Nylander. And the Maple Leafs failed to take the lead. He was trying to go to the backhand and then a forehand flip, but lost the handle on it. We're still tied at ones. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leaf Radio Network.
When Canada needed a strong leader to step up, Justin Trudeau stepped back. Now more than ever, Ontario needs leadership that's ready to fight for us. Bonnie Crombie says she wants to be premier. But when Donald Trump threatens Ontario jobs, Bonnie calls Ontario a small player. When workers need a champion, Bonnie stays on the sidelines, saying Ontario has only a small role. And when it's time to stand up for Ontario, Bonnie says, leave it to Trudeau. Small thinking won't protect Ontario from big threats. A message from the Ontario PC Party.
Orthotics.
Footwear.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight for the Leafs game. Now that we've got your attention, Tom has something to say.
Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell for some notifications for all the streams that we have on TSI.
You know it. If it's a Toronto sports game, we're live. The Maple Leafs, the Raptors, the Argos, TFC, Blue Jays all summer long. Thank you so much for becoming an insider and hitting that subscribe button. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go!
That's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
The backhand scores! Steven Lorentz!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Goaltending battle going on here tonight. A 1-1 tie. The Canucks and the Maple Leafs. Kevin Lankinen took over for Thatcher Demko in the first period. Didn't have a shot in the first period, but he's been a lot busier ever since. Goal scorers have been Philip Hronek and Morgan Riley, a couple of defensemen. In over the line for Matthews. Spinning move, got it back again, but man had it knocked off his stick in a foot race here. Oliver Ekman-Larsson shows you some pretty good speed, getting back and pounding his man into the corner with a hit. Puck along the boards in the near side. And then Ekman-Larsson gave him an extra one, and I think this is going to cost him.
Not a smart penalty to take, and it's going to be a high stick on Sherwood. It was in the corner behind the play, and I'm not sure if Sherwood got a shot in first. And
on the 95.
No, it was just a careless move as Ekman-Larsson tried to move away. He turned. Sherwood with the head snap to make sure that it was detected.
Penalty kill. Sorry, Jim. Brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealers. Get home ice advantage on every drive with the new Civic Hybrid, proudly made in Ontario. Available now at Ontario Honda dealers.
And even though the Leafs didn't score, they scored at the end of the power play, but that was a high sticking penalty. And Pontus Holmberg got clipped.
Leafs win the draw. And McKay sends it out and down the ice. Canucks power play back in their own zone. Hronek gets it ahead. Played in by Garland, in over the line and around the boards to the near corner. Kept alive there on the far side by Joshua. Rolls out in front of the net. And Wall has got a big mitt on top of that to stop play. 11:52 to play in the third. A 1-1 tie. The Leafs and the Vancouver Canucks.
Leafs were 5 for 5 in the penalty kill in Seattle, but before that, 9 games before that, horrendous. 13 of 23 they were only able to kill.
Crowd reacting to something, not sure what it is, but it's shot down the ice by the Maple Leafs. During the commercial break, one of the people that dress up all green jumped on the ice and had to be escorted out of the rink. At the point, over to Garland, a pass in front of the net, and it was deflected just wide. Wall got over there to deny Joshua. Back to the point, kept alive now by the Canucks. Into the corner, it comes back to the point again, and a drive that whistled wide of the goal. Near side for Garland. Garland doesn't shoot it. Garland down into the corner, can't come up with it as it comes to the line. Just kept in there by Hronek. A pass into the slot, scores! Brock Besser in front of the net gives the Canucks another lead on the power play. It's 2-1.
A lot of time and space for Besser in the high slot. He very nearly redirected one in earlier. This time finds that soft area. Matthew Nyes went out, but Benoit and Nyes kind of both came out towards the left point at the same time. And that left the space for Brock Besser to take the pass. I believe it was Philip Edel from the right point, just threw it to the top of the slot, and Besser turned and fired it past Joseph Wall.
So the Canucks restore their 1-goal lead that they had in the first period.
Well, what are we looking at here now? Looks like
nope.
Everything, I believe, is fine. Yeah.
Leafs win the face-off and play it up on the wing. They try to get it into the zone, but it was knocked back at center. And Riley fights for it now as it's up against the boards, and now Nylander couldn't get to it. How big is that Nylander breakaway now? Back down into the Toronto end, and an icing call against Vancouver will bring it all the way back into the Vancouver end.
There have been a couple of breakaways he's had where he's done that, hasn't he? Where it looks like he went from deking to trying to shoot it, and I don't know whether he thought, I'm going to go fake forehand, backhand, and then chip it. Maybe glove side. It just had a little bit of hesitation. Ended up costing him.
Nylander into the corner. Tavares couldn't get it. It comes back up on the left wing, and the Canucks get it out at center. And it's shot into the zone by Jake DeBrusk. Round back of the net is McCabe. Wheeling out now for Toronto. Gets the pass ahead off of Vancouver stick down into the zone, and Bobby McMahon is in after it. McMahon, who's had a great road trip here, got it freed up. Tavares trying to push it out in front of the net. They do, but it goes off a stick and back of the goal. Myers for Vancouver will play it high into the center ice area. Tanev goes back to retrieve it. Leafs are getting a change of players, and so are Vancouver. Tanev dropping it off. Gets a return pass. Comes to center with a redirect in by Robertson. Robertson into the corner, unable to get possession, and Canucks get it back out at center ice. Amon getting in over the line, and that's whistled down on an offside, I think. And so play stopped with 9:50 to play in the third. The Leafs trail 2-1 in Vancouver. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid is here, and it may sound too good to be true. With a 2-liter 4-cylinder backed by 2 electric motors, giving a combined 200 horsepower, it's our most powerful and fuel-efficient Civic ever. Plus, with an estimated range of over 800 kilometers and available features like a Bose premium sound system, your crew will love it too. Huh, maybe it should be called the Civic 2.0. Redefine your drive with the 2025.
Go Leafs, go! Go Leafs, go! Go Leafs, go! Make sure to hit the like button and so you don't miss out on our content.
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm just telling the chat to like the video.
Telling everybody in the chat to hit the like button?
Yeah.
Nice job. Can you guys please hit the like button? This kid's awesome. Go Leafs, go. We'll see you back in the chat.
Hours of sunlight. Enjoy the unmistakable smell of campfire through the glacial wind pummeling your face. Relax by the water, taking in the soothing sounds of thick ice cracking and popping. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Visit your local Subaru dealer today.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Left wing side, Riley with a wrist shot.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs trail 2-1 to the Vancouver Canucks.
Well, we've seen Craig Berube make the line changes. Marner has been back with Matthews and Matthew Nyes. And then we had McMahon out with John Tavares and Willie Nylander last shift.
Puck in the Toronto zone off a face-off scrum. Pushed into the corner by Aman of the Vancouver Canucks. Höglander still with it. Works back at the net. Centering pass. That deflected high to the near boards. No one seemed to know where exactly it went. Canucks with it again against the boards. Can't get it in front. And now it's pushed up on the wall, and the Leafs are able to get some control of it as it comes to the left wing side, but unable to get it into the zone was Domi. Domi now a pass in for Robertson. He was tripped. That's 3 at least on Nick Robertson.
Well, if he's not tripped, you got to bench him, right, for falling down all the time.
Yes. Play down. I'm sorry, son, but they're not calling the trip. You're going to have to sit here. Here are the Canucks back in the Leaf zone, though. Around back of the net, a centering pass. Matthews blocked that. Vancouver with possession now, cycling the puck along the boards, near side. They try to get it down into the corner. It's still free down there as it comes to the line and out finally, and Marner couldn't connect with it. Brought right back in again by Hedl. Hedl into the corner, far side, dropping it back to the point of drive. Wall being sat on. Then Ekman Larsson fires his man into the corner, and the referee just kind of pointed at the situation and bade the game go on. Morgan Riley after the puck reverses it around the boards. Not far enough to find Nyes, but it comes free to Matthews, who will just get it out at center. Leafs now trying to get a change as Marner's pass was broken up and tempting to find Willie Nylander, and it's back down into the Toronto end. Out comes Tanev. Tanev gets it back, and Nylander turns in his own zone. Gathering some speed to center with a pass in on the left wing. Shot high off a body into the near corner. Tavares gets to it first. Back to the point. Closing was McCabe, and he shot it over top of the goal. Tavares tries it again. Tavares working along the boards with Nylander right on his heels, and the pass knocked off a stick and comes to center to the line. Breaking in, trying to get to the net was Sherwood, but he was knocked down. Well, no penalty there either. Boy, these guys must have a dinner date here with the early start in Vancouver. Chopped in over the line. Nylander right wing side with a shot. Oh, and a good pad save by Lankin and there.
Looked like there was some room far side.
Yes, it did. Myers knocked down, and everybody hollering for a penalty and any body contact now. We'll tell you when it really should count. Sent back down into the Vancouver end. Round the boards, it'll go past Lorenz and out to the line, kept in by Pacioretty. Near boards, David Camp. Got it around back of the net, but Myers cut it off. Camp gets it back along the boards on the near corner. Stolen back. Camp with it on his stick. Got it to the blue line. Leafs unable to keep it in, and it comes to center ice. Fourth line doing a nice job here. Played deep into the corner and down into Vancouver territory. Bluger brings it back now for Vancouver. Passed into the corner. Trying to get it in front of the net. Now here is the centering pass by Besser. That's blocked. A rebound in front. And it'll come back to the blue line. Roenick trying to get it to the near side, but it's going to deflect and go into the screen and out of play. 6:02 left in the third period. And the Maple Leafs trail in the game by a score of 2-1.
Now the difference being the power play goal by Brock Besser here in the third period. Leafs had 6 shots in the first, 14 in the second, and now only 4 here in the third period with a little over 6 minutes to go.
Pretty good one by Willie.
Yeah, and there was room. Lankinen was pretty deep, hung in the near post, and it looked like Willie Nylander had the Rick Vive opportunity to blast it far side off the wing.
Face-off won by Vancouver. Shot! Deflects to the goal line. Knocked away by Wall. What an athletic move that was. Nyes carries back and flips into the corner. He'll go in against Myers. Puck around back of the net. Comes to the boards on the near side. Tanev trying to keep it in, does. But Vancouver gets possession and plays it off the official to center ice. Marner unable to sweep it away there from Hedel, who gets in over the line, but it is stolen back, and the Leafs send it back out at center ice. Pettersson. That's the other Pettersson. Gets it ahead. This Pettersson trying to get a shot. And it went high and wide of the goal and caroms all the way to center ice. Canucks shoot it right back in again. Chipped along the boards for Domi. Max gets it to the line, gets a pass out at center for Robertson. Robertson's just going to backhand it in wide of the goal. Domi in pursuit. Puck in the near corner, though. Played off a body to center. And now forced in over the line. Canucks have to tag up. 4:52 to play in the third. Leafs trail by a goal. Played down into Vancouver territory. Round back of the net it goes. Leafs trying to get really greedy here on a 4-game road trip, having won the first 3. It's a really good road trip. It would be absolutely great if they can come back and gain a point at least in this one. Riley got it ahead off a stick and into Vancouver territory. Out of the net, the goaltender pushes it around the boards, but it's blocked. Or was it gloved? Yes, it was gloved. And so a face-off is coming outside the blue line. Bouncing puck that Wall, I don't know if he got a piece of that or not, but it was bouncing towards the near post. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
It was a rainy day when Pizzaville announced their loyalty program, but some listeners thought I was saying royalty program.
What's up, hockey fans? Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. Now is the time of the show for you to let us know where you are watching from in the chat. Speaking of which, where's Tom? Tom!
I'm right here, Dad.
Oh, good.
And I also wonder where you are from, just like my father.
So let us know in the chat what city and province in Canada, city and state in the United States, or all over the world, where you're watching from. And thank you for hanging out with us and participating in the chat. Now let's get back to the hockey.
We'll see you in the chat.
Go Leafs, go!
Anything we Canadians are proud of is we support each other. And Access Storage knows this because we're truly Canadian, and your support has made us Canada's leader in storage solutions. Proudly serving our communities for more than 25 years. Thank you. And if you haven't tried us yet and need extra space, try 4 weeks free now. So drop that hockey stick, finish that poutine, throw on that toque, and celebrate the True North Strong End 4 weeks free. Details at accessstorage.ca. Shop Canadian, store Canadian.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Joe Bowen along with Jim Ralph bringing you the game. Andrew Zagarian is in charge, supposedly.
Armin.
What did I say?
Andrew.
Oh, no. I was thinking of Andrew Adams, who was pushing buttons.
Yeah. Or Andrew Holland.
Yeah. No. But Andrew Adams having to follow the Hall of Famer Tom Young.
Right.
Has really had to up his game here today. Shot down into the Vancouver zone. 4:12 left to play in the third period as the Canucks get it out and down the ice into the Leaf end. McCabe back of the net for Tanev. Tanev had it stripped away. Canucks in possession. Down the boards, Connor Garland tries to center. And Wall apparently had that long enough, although it was a fairly quick whistle from the officials, to bring a face-off in the Toronto zone.
Joseph Wall won his last 2 games coming in, gave up 3 goals in each of those games. Before that, lost back-to-back games where he only gave up 2 goals. One was the 2-1 loss in Ottawa, and then 3-1 loss to Minnesota, but the third one was into an empty net.
24 shots apiece in this one. So over a .900 save percentage for Wall. Draw one by Vancouver. At the point, it's fired around back of the Toronto goal to the far corner for DeBrusk. DeBrusk lost it. The Leafs chip it out for Marner. He gets it ahead for Morgan Riley. Riley on the left wing side for Matthews, trying to settle it down. Matthews turns and shoots, but it was a weak one and went well wide. Kept in at the blue line by Nyes. Played off on the wing. Now it comes to Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Larsson to Matthews. Matthews turning. Matthews still with it on the near boards. Back to OEL. Pay on the left wing side. Delayed penalty call coming here against Vancouver. Back it goes to Nylander. Extra attacker on for Toronto. Back of the goal and near boards now for Matthews. Matthews holds. Back to the point to Marner. Marner over to Nylander. Back to OEL. Back to Marner. Nobody going to the net with this just yet. Oliver Ekman-Larsson now to Nylander. Nylander with a shot. Rebound! Riley shot it, but it deflected. And up into the screen it went. And do you call your timeout now to get all of these guys rested for the power play with 3:02 left in the third period?
I think you might save it that if you get a break, maybe halfway through this.
So the Leafs will go to the power play for the second time in the game.
Bigger question might be, when does Joseph Wall come out?
Yes.
I'd give it a minute. I'd go halfway through, Joey.
Yep. Pettersson gets the penalty. One of them.
Yeah, Rick and Taka doesn't love it either. If I can read lips correctly.
You're very good.
Yes.
And it's fairly easy. Draw one by Toronto. Forced back on the boards. Marner chipped it in, but it was gobbled up and shot down the ice. And Wall will leave the puck in back of the goal for the Maple Leafs. Wall stick handling with it and gives it to Marner. Marner gets it ahead to Nylander. Nylander works to the line and in on the near side. He's going to ring the boards to the far side. Marner kept it in for Toronto, and so did Tavares as it comes to Nylander on the near half boards. Nylander lost the puck, and it's poked out at center ice, but Marner was back there to cover up. No defenseman on the ice here for the Maple Leafs.
Boy, they're just fumbling it everywhere right now.
2:25 to go. Minute 20 in the power play. Drop back for Nylander. Hits the line. Nylander slides to the far half board. Played it along for Tavares. Tavares into the corner for Nyes. Nyes chipping it around the boards. Marner will get there to keep it in. Bank back of the net. Trying to come out with it. Nyes knocked his man down. Got it free for Matthews. Matthews across ice to Nylander. Holds Matthews shooting. Glove save. Lankinen. Best save he's made, and a great chance for the Leafs. Goal scorer as Matthews snaps it and Lankinen gloves it.
Boy, that net was open for a moment. And you think if Matthews gets a little more elevated, it's in the back of the net.
That get off the stick of Soucy a little bit?
That might have hit Soucy, but if it did, it went up.
And have they called timeout? The Leafs have.
1:57 to go, and this might also be time for Joseph Wall.
Well, they're discussing it.
Yeah, this might be we win the draw.
Yeah.
You're coming.
Yep.
In fact, I think that's exactly what Brule said.
Mark Savard going over with the power play unit.
I would imagine Morgan Riley would be the extra coming on.
One would think. 1:57 to play. 55 seconds left in this power play. Leafs down a goal. Trying to grab a little magic at the end of this one. The draw will be in the circle to the left of Kevin Lankinen. Myers chatting with him as we get the draw, and Tavares entrusted with trying to win it. And Tavares suggesting maybe that the player didn't do it right. Now it's Tavares who's getting waved out. Wow. And John's upset with that, and I don't blame him. So Matthews will have to try and win this faceoff. And he does. Marner works it along the boards to Tavares. Tavares holding and working to the near half boards. Tavares still with it, and now there is an extra attacker on the ice for Toronto. Back of the net and around the boards. It'll come back to the blue line. Kept in there by Marner. Marner to the near side. A shot right on. That was stopped. It is Bobby McMahon who's the extra player. So the Leafs have 6 forwards on the ice. Marner at the blue line. Dishes off for Matthews. Matthews down low. A centering pass. That's blocked. The puck is still free. It's cleared back to the blue line. What a play by Marner to keep it in by diving. Down to Nylander. Nylander in the corner. Centers. Great shot. Tavares banging away at it. It goes back to the net. Nylander into the corner. Still with it. Power play has 5 seconds left. Here's Nylander closing. Stick handles in front. Can't get it. Shot to an empty net's going wide. And it'll be icing, I believe. No. Oh, and the Vancouver player hit the goalpost. Wow, I don't know about that.
But Pettersson came out of the box, so he was the first one down the ice.
Back comes Marner. A pass ahead at center, flipped in over the line for Matthews. Matthews into the corner. Got it back to the blue line, but Marner couldn't keep it in. Half minute to go in the third. Need a little lightning in the jar here. Flip back into the Vancouver zone. Punched around the boards by Hronek, and it's going to go out and down the ice. And will it have enough to go? No. No icing. 17 seconds. Last rush for Willie. Nylander through center. Nylander into the zone. Slides into the corner. Around back of the net. Tried to center. Now it does come to the side of the goal. 5 seconds left. At the point, Marner trying to shoot it. It's blocked. And that'll do it.
Well, 2 games against the Canucks. Just 1 goal mustered for the Leafs in 2 losses. And a huge win for Vancouver, trying to stay ahead of the Calgary Flames for that last wild card spot in the Western Conference. Leafs couldn't take advantage of Kevin Lankinen having to replace Thatcher Demko halfway through the opening period. Leafs did have some moments of offense, but probably the second period, their most impressive. And a great opportunity with the man advantage late in the third here. John Tavares, maybe the best chance on a pass out front of the net. Lankinen was able to get his block around.
3 stars brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealers. Get home ice advantage on every drive with the new Civic Hybrid. Proudly made in Ontario. Available now at your Ontario Honda dealer.
I'm going to take the easy way out.
Don't do that.
Yeah, 3rd star Brock Besser. Okay. Game-winning goal.
Yeah.
Scored in the 3rd period. 2nd star Joseph Wall, who I thought was outstanding in goal for the Leafs. Only 2 goals against. And the 1st star.
Get it out. Another goalie.
One of the Petterssons.
Pick one.
First star, Kevin Lankinen. And I thought the Leafs had moments, had him swimming, but weren't able to get more than one past him. He is star number 1 in the game, but the Petterssons certainly honorable mention.
You had to. There's too many.
you can pick your favorites.
That's right.
We'll get Amish and Justin to come up with the best Pettersson of the night.
Hey, enjoy the break there, young man.
Yes.
And we'll be back in Chicago. Well, we won't be there, but the Leafs will be in Chicago. The next action, which is not until February the 23rd, which is a Sunday, and a 7 o'clock start, actually. So we'll look forward to that as the Maple Leafs drop a 2-1 decision in Vancouver. But what a trip.
Yeah, it's you win the first 3. You get a little greedy when it comes to the final one. But for whatever reason, 8 games in a row, the Leafs have lost in Vancouver. I think you might have to go back to the COVID year. I'm not sure if they beat them In the COVID year, the All-Canadian division might have been the last time.
So we will let Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert take you to the post-game show as the Leafs drop a 2-1 decision in Vancouver. You've been listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
You've been listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. There's a Molson with your name on it.
439 Pizza Nova. 439 Pizza Nova.
Ciao, Dominic Primo.
Cheers, Insiders! Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Another great night here on TSI, where we hang out every single Maple Leafs game and chat it up. Cheer on our Maple Leafs. Lots of fun in the chat. I will let the post-game run as always.
Until that Frank guy comes on.
Yep, until my buddy Frank Trachtenberg comes on to let us know the schedule for all the games this evening. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. Now go Leafs go, and we'll see you back in the chat. Enjoy the postgame.
/care.
25 years. That's a long time. 25 years of Alta Infinity? That's an exceptionally long time. They're exceptional. They deliver your new vehicle to your home or office. They pick up and drop off your Infinity for service. They deliver an exceptional Infinity experience. That's how you get to 25.
Alta Infinity. Excellence in motion. Find us at 5585 Highway 7 West, east of the 427. AltaInfinity.com.
Part of the Zankin Auto Group.
With MSC Cruises, discover big on a mini getaway or treat yourself to a week-long vacation. For a limited time, book now and enjoy up to 35% off cruises, plus kids sail free. Sail to the turquoise waters of the Bahamas with stops at our private island, Ocean Key MSC Marine Reserve, or experience the beauty of the Caribbean and more destinations. MSC Cruises, for a greater beauty. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
Ah, at last, the Subaru winter is here. It's the perfect weather for the beach. Feel the sun's rays on the small amount of skin peeking out of your ski mask. Put on your beach puffer and hear the sound of the waves crashing over the chatter of your teeth. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Visit your local Subaru dealer today.
We all know things tend to break when you need them most, like your furnace breaking down in the middle of a cold snap. That's why Enercare is offering a free furnace checkup for homeowners in the GTA. That's a $99 value. If your furnace has any issues, our Enercare experts can fix it, or we can get you a new one as soon as the next day. Don't get stuck shivering. Keep your home comfortable with Enercare. Terms and conditions apply. Visit enercare.ca.
Enercare, experts at home.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfar, Justin Cuthbert. This is our last wrap in for a couple weeks, so let's make it good.
Yeah, we'll try.
The Leafs with a 2-1 loss to the Vancouver Canucks. They take another one against the Leafs at home. No Hughes. Lankinen gets a first period mid-start after Demko leaves, and now that's their 8th straight home win against the Maple Leafs. Last time the Leafs won in Vancouver was 2019.
Yeah, I'd like to see more of these Canadian matchups. Like I was bemoaning the fact that there's only 2 Oilers games. And maybe with the Canucks, though, just keep it at the 2 because they have no success against the Vancouver Canucks. Just 1 goal scored, 2 losses this year. And I will say, the boys of Leafs talk, hopefully they will talk about this, but they change up the lines after 5 periods. Nuclear B dash changes to all 3 top 9 units. But that was after they were gaining momentum in the second period. I thought it was a strange decision for Craig Berube to be like, nope, experiment over, just after it felt like something was building in the second period. I thought that was an interesting decision to go with different lines in the third because it never looked right the entire game and certainly didn't in the third period.
Everybody's in 1-2-3 Cabo mode.
Cabo, Cancun, what do you think the most popular
I think
destination
they're a bit more
will
of
be.
a Cabo squad
Yeah,
than a Cancun squad.
Although, don't disparage Cancun. There's some nice places
I've never
in
been
Cancun.
to either, so I can't compare. Let's take one last look at the NHL scoreboard. Presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 18 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit ConnexOntario.ca.
Okay, the Hurricanes got a 7-3 win over Utah this afternoon. Lightning 6-3 over the Red Wings also this afternoon. 4-0 Devils beat the Canadiens. Golden Knights got a 4-3 victory over the Bruins. Panthers beat the Senators 5-1. Flyers got a 3-2 victory over the Pittsburgh Penguins. It's 5-5 right now, end of overtime, Blackhawks and Blues, so that's going to a shootout. Rangers came back and beat the Blue Jackets 4-3. Wild clinging to a 4-3 lead, over the Islanders. It's 4-3, Predators leading the Sabres in 3 games, still waiting for the puck to be dropped. Stars and Sharks from the Shark Tank in San Jose. Flames will host the Kraken, and the Kings will host the Ducks.
Okay, our next Sportsnet 590 The Fan Molson Leafs hockey broadcast is Sunday, February 23rd against the Chicago Blackhawks. In the meantime, catch us every night at 6 p.m. on the Fan pregame show. We'll do lots of Four Nations Faceoff coverage this week as it gets underway. So enjoy the 2 weeks off, unless you're a player at the Four Nations Faceoff.
Good call.
All right. Leafs Talk with JD Bunkus and Sam McKee is next. Thanks for listening to Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs Talk, JD Bunkus, Sam McKee. Last Leafs Talk for a couple of weeks. We got a break. And guess who knew it?
Who?
The Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh, yeah.
They were painfully aware.
I was all ready to come on here and be like, the narrative that the Stars, they knew they were still playing and they knew they still had to play. And, they're not going for a break. And then they're like, wow, let's take a quick break before we start the next tournament here. But yeah, bit of a dog's breakfast of a hockey game tonight.
Yeah, that was not a good game. That was a really lackluster performance. I actually really pitied the Leaf fans that went to that one. Like, you wish you probably went to the Calgary game or the Edmonton game.
Made the trip down to the old Seattle.
Yeah, just drive down to the watch in the Kraken's barn because you did not get your money's worth in that one. But I was actually thinking, I felt as though some of the Stars looked a little timid tonight. And I wonder if the news of injuries was getting in guys' heads and if they thought, just get healthy to the break. Because didn't it feel a little preseason-y in terms of the compete for large stretches of this game to you?
I thought a lot of the guys in the Canucks were going pretty hard. I thought Kiefer Sherwood. Was it Kiefer Sherwood? That's right.
Yeah. He always goes hard though. That guy's not preparing for the Four Nations tournament.
I thought
OEL nailed him.
Yeah, Filipino was running around. I think that Drew O'Connor, the new guys they have on their team, you could definitely tell that they've breathed some new life into their team and some new energy because it felt like those guys are really going hard. But yeah, I could see a little bit of that. I'm not sure. I guess these guys are pretty excited about playing this best on best, but there's been a lot of people criticizing this tournament coming up, but maybe that's not the players, whatever. We don't need to get into it, but I didn't really think of it from that perspective when I'm watching the game, but now looking back on it with that set of eyes, I think that's actually a pretty salient point that there wasn't a ton of, wasn't quite a no hitter, but there was definitely some, hey, I want to go to Cabo and I want to play that nice golf course and I don't want to have a bum ankle. And the other guys are like, hey, I want to play in this tournament coming up here. There definitely was a little bit of that, at least on the Leafs side, in my opinion.
I just didn't feel like the Leafs Stars
last game of a trip, big break coming up. Like, there's definitely a spot for them to let down.
I just thought that the Leaf Stars tonight in particular were pretty lackluster. Like, Nylander gets a few breaks, right? He's always going to do that. I'm not, you and I weren't really sure what happened on the breakaway with him. You thought he just lost the puck, that he looked down for a second, lost it. I wondered if he was going for the no move. If he was trying to get cute with it, but he has his couple opportunities. He had a wrist shot that, gets stopped and was close. So he had a few chances. Matthews, I thought, was pretty solid in the first, minus a bad clear that led to the first goal. But yeah, I just overall did not really feel the impact of the second line tonight. Wasn't like the first line was overly threatening with Matthews, but I wanted to ask you if you feel like there's any chemistry there so far, because one thing I did notice tonight is Marner and Nylander, like, you're used to seeing one of those two guys be the transporter often, right? And it didn't really feel like those two guys are clicking. I don't know if they can eventually be aligned. I still want to see more of Matthews without Mitch Marner, but ultimately I do think that at some point they're going to have to look at them all spread out. But the case for it is going to be built on whether those two guys can play together. And tonight was not a really good example for them if they wanted to stick together.
Yeah, they've had the 2 games here now, and I don't think they've really been very good at all through the 2 games. They even got broke up tonight. They go back to Marner and Matthews in the third period, which is pretty predictable.
Yeah.
I don't think it works. It's just too much on one line. I don't think Marner and Nylander are complementary players. They're both puck carriers, like you alluded to. They're both guys that kind of, want to have the puck on their stick a lot. And I don't think having them on the opposite wings, Nylander playing on the offside, feels like they're tripping over each other a lot out there.
Yeah,
Tavares,
that's what I feel.
it's just, and even in the third period there, Tavares and Nylander play together a lot, but like they're getting in each other's way. I don't think that there's a ton of chemistry there, and they're clearly doing this to try to get to shoehorn Max Domi into this top 6 to try to get any value on the contract that they signed him to in the offseason. They're trying to shoehorn him. It's not working. But yeah, I think when we come out of this 2-week break, the first practice that we see, well, I guess the first practice, Matthews and Marner probably won't be there because they'll still be at the Four Nations. But I think if they're both in the final, which we're all hoping they are, I think you'll just see the Matthews and Marner go back together. Until they make a trade, until they bring somebody out of the organization in here, this doesn't work.
You can tell Domi's trying to shoot it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I actually want to see more of Domi up with Matthews. Like he did it last year. There is proof of concept with that line. And I haven't felt like, again, tonight, I didn't think that they were overly punishing, but I also didn't think that they were terrible. Like I didn't look at the Matthews line and say, wow, they're just an absolute nothing burger out there. I thought Matthews made some good defensive plays. I just think that he has a bit of a more direct style. I like that he's more involved with the entries. I like that he operates a little bit more as a playmaker, but still maintains his aggressive nature. You saw it especially early where he was getting some good chances, some good looks at the net, and was not obviously passing any of them up. Domi still has the playmaking ability to find him and do a little bit of that play on the outside and set Matthews up. To me, it's really is a matter of the thing with the third line center is that you could put a line with McMahon, Nylander, and a third line center. And that's the real breaker for this team, because I know that Tavares and Marner have chemistry together. Like I just do. And ultimately, I know Marner and Matthews can play together. That's never been a question about this team. I think that I was thinking about this a lot today, especially, sorry. Last couple of days, you said is, I feel like they're probably going to go back to it.
There's just, there's very, very, and we've asked for it a million times on these shows for them to do 3 separate lines for these guys. And they are so hesitant to do it. And they've done it where they've put, Tavares as a third line center when Ryan O'Reilly was here, and they've tried to do like that sort of thing, but they're just really hesitant to do it. And if you're going to not put them on 3 separate lines, the only way to do it is Matthews and Marner, Nylander, Tavares, or Nylander and Matthews and Tavares and Marner. Like that's the big switch you can make, because
that's why I'm talking about this game though, like to tie it back to kind of not get too big picture with it. But like that was the disappointing part of seeing the experiment of this second line, is that it didn't have any chemistry. It didn't have any juice. You said the tripping all over each other thing. Yeah. That's bang on, dude.
Games. It was great. Like they did that in Seattle too. They were all like, they were not good at all. The top 6 really wasn't that great at all in that game either. And they're all over each other's heels. It feels like they're trying to fight for the same pucks. They're trying to fight for the same parts of the ice. They look like 3 guys that have been, dominant players on their own lines trying to play together. It's just not. It's not a good mix. And I just
really noticed it in the neutral zone, especially right where it's like they're collecting pucks, and there were multiple moments where it was Marner and Nylander both like going to it, being like, so sorry. Oh no, it's like 2 people going to the door at the same time. Like, no, after you. Like that's kind of them
deferring.
When they're trying to figure out who's
all-star game. It's all-star game energy where there's 3 guys that are just trying to pass to each other over and over and over and over again, and they don't know where they're supposed to go, and they don't know their roles in the line. And maybe if you keep hammering away here with it for a longer stretch after the break, and you really try to make it work, maybe potentially it can start to gain some legs, and the guys can get used to playing with each other. But it just looks like 3 guys that have no idea what the hell any of them do. when they're playing together. It's just it's a weird mix. So we'll see what happens. Got a long time to think about it and talk about it here, but I didn't like it at all.
Well, again, like I know this is just a post-game show, but I just thought that this game was such an obvious what you need at the deadline game, because to have the option to split up the talent centers around getting that third line center. And then the other thing that I wanted to get to from this game is, boy, you're really starting to see the sore spots of the depth on the blue line start to show up here. And I know that they had just won a couple of games in a row, but yeesh, Benoit and Myers, it's not pretty, buddy. And it's it's not good when you and I are texting back and forth going, have they been out there all game? Because every one of their shifts feels long because they're in the D zone making mistakes and losing battles and failing clears and getting out of position. There were just so many times tonight where I'm marking, why is Benoit where he is? And even on the power play goal against, it's like, why is he playing up high like that? Where is he with the support by the side of the net? Myers, multiple moments in this game where he's jumping up in the rush, getting horned up. And you're like, buddy, your whole thing is to be kind of stay at home and safe. Why are you making mistakes? They got to address that too. It's like third line center, somebody to help them on the back end that is playable when it comes to their depth. Like the two sore spots could not have been more apparent for this team tonight.
Yeah, it's almost, top 6 is good, top 4 is good, and then everybody else is not very good. Yeah. That's kind of this team where I trust the top 4 kind of, Riley's been better here, and at least that
look better on his other side too.
And at least it's in there with Riley. There's something you can dig down deep for potentially, and it's looked good on this trip where he's gotten away from the 8 kids in his no electricity house where he's been able to sleep at night here finally. But I've talked a lot about Myers. I made my jokes about Myers Island, but like they're screaming out for an upgrade at multiple positions. And I don't know if they'll be able, are they going to be able to really upgrade it? Like, are they really going to, with what they have to trade? Dude,
I think the blue line is actually the easiest part to upgrade because you recall, like Tree Living last year got Edmondson and I actually really liked Edmondson last year. Yeah, of course. But that's what I'm saying is you can kind of grab those guys for the draft pick capital that the Leafs actually have, right? Those kind of depth blue liners that are there, final hours of the draft, expiring contracts, old with teams that are rebuilding. They're just available every year. You've seen the Leafs do it year over year over year. They grab a Polak. Labushkin, like they're kind of a dime a dozen in the league, and that's really what Toronto needs right now is just a couple of guys that play with some kind of identity. I would say it's pretty disappointing that what has happened to Benoit recently. Like I just feel like his game has gotten so much more scrambly. It feels like he's losing more puck battles than he's winning, which was kind of the one staple of his game was that he could pin you to the boards and win one. And he just feels like he's lost out in space far too often. And we've been talking about it. The chart guys, I don't really blame him on that goal, by the way. We just showed the highlight of it. That to me is more bad clear by Matthews, just kind of a soft play where he didn't want to take a hit. And then Nyes falls asleep and lets his man beat him backdoor. Like it's point man that creeps down. So sucks that those guys are on the ice for that. But either way, to wrap up the point, I feel like they're lost way too often. And I think if you just get some kind of veteran guys in there that are going to be able to play like a stay-at-home game, you're not asking them to play 20 minutes a night. You're asking them to be serviceable for 12, 13. And I just don't think that's what you're getting from the bottom guys right now.
You go back to last year when Benoit was really good. And then it's like, who was playing with? Oh, he was playing with Jake McCabe. Like that's like maybe old Benoit can be like, hey buddy, I thank you very much for the money. Like that was my worst French accent I could have ever done, but
we don't need Glass Onion 3 for figuring out that mystery of why he was good then.
Yeah. It's like, I kind of figured out there that he played, I don't know, maybe that's something you try. I don't want to tether McCabe back to him, but I don't know. They need to upgrade, but you're like, oh, the Leafs need a 3C and a depth defenseman and some scoring. But then it's like every single team needs the exact same thing.
But the thing is, I don't even think that they need, like people talk about the wingers and stuff. It's like you saw Pacioretty get slotted properly tonight on the fourth line. And I thought that was a positive where you look at him now and you go, hey man, he can play a heavy game and he's solid. I don't know this one, getting a comment in here. Disagree with JD. Our forwards were weak defensively. It's like, yeah, I don't know when I made the point otherwise. So anyway, I lost my thought. I looked at the chat.
Oh, never look at the chat, bro.
Yeah, looked at this chat. I was like, wait, what are these? And I was like,
Luke.
I got more
guilty conscience. Me and Luke are guilty conscience, boys. I get it, bro. You don't have to apologize.
Remember the point. The point is simply, it's like, if they can just add someone who is credible on the third line, it gives them just different options to use the actual players they have and slot them the right way. Yeah. Like all of a sudden you can ask for something a little bit more to Domi, or you can do the Nylander McMahon idea that I've been talking about. Yeah. Like it just gives you so much more flexibility having a different pivot there, that I really believe that it balances out a lot of the talent that you have. It also knocks someone off the roster that shouldn't really be playing in the NHL, which is probably at this point Pontus Holmberg, even though, again, he's the penalty drawing machine. And then with the blue line, it's the same thing. It's like, it's mostly good. You've got the most important things working out for you. It's just a couple of minor upgrades for you are going to make a big difference for this team, and that's why I'm advocating for them to make the buys.
You're looking for somebody who's going to be able to give you 12 to 13 capable playoff minutes, because the top four is set, right?
Yeah, that's it.
That's what you're looking for. So hopefully they can find it. And yeah, I'm really impressed with the way Riley's looked on this trip. And I think that's, if there's anything outside of the 6 points they got out of the 8 possible on this trip, I think the most positive thing to me was the improvement of Morgan Riley. And he was decisive again tonight, flying up and down the ice. I mean, he still has he's still got a muffin. Let's be honest. He just still doesn't shoot it hard. He's never going to shoot it hard, but he ends up finding the back of the net here in his hometown. He's got his parents in the building. You love to see that. Guy that's been taking an absolute beating from guys like us, guys like everybody. He's been the number one whipping boy. And it's nice to see him have a good trip where he was a positive contributor to the team. And I really liked his game tonight again. And him and Ekman Larson really good again tonight, I thought.
Yep.
Like just solid defensively, like good along the boards, way greasier and stronger than I thought he was when he was coming in here. Just got the offensive instincts that if you need it, he makes a good play on the Riley goal. I've been impressed with him, and they're getting good value on that contract that they signed him to. Like, so it's almost like it's maybe the perfect number to give that guy. Like he's giving them exactly the value on that, because he's been down, he's been up. Yep. Like he's had some stretches where he hasn't been as great, but recently he's been trending in the right direction. And for me, Riley and him are two guys that a break is going to be really great for, where there's just like, they had a good trip. They get to go, do whatever they're going to do. And then they're going to come back maybe a little bit rejuvenated. I like both their games tonight.
I agree with you on Riley. And I think that Riley's taking a step forward has made it look like OEL is easier on his offside.
Yeah.
That it's a big component of it when he doesn't feel as under duress of trying to get the puck out of the zone on his backhand as before. But I got to tell you too, with OEL, it's a pretty good sign of confidence that they put him out there to score that goal at the end of the period with the power play. And then they also throw him over the boards when they're going 6-on-4, 6-on-5 as a guy to make decisions out there as well. Like that's
they
the
trust his decision making. They do.
Yeah, they trust his decision making, and they like the way that he moves the puck. And if you look at that power play goal, I actually like this from all the Leafs because they played with a ton of aggression. They didn't just go to sleep saying, we blew it. It's the end of the period. Whatever. You had an offensive zone draw. You win it. And they played with a ton of force, probably one of their better moments of the entire game, if we're being honest. And they kind of catch Vancouver a bit asleep at the wheel. And OEL makes a beautiful patient play. Like, I think if you look at this on the Riley goal, I think a lot of guys just kind of make a bit of a rush play there. And that's the difference with having a veteran puck-moving defenseman, is that he's not under duress in that moment. Like, how many seconds are on the clock here? Like 3, 4, 5 seconds? Yeah. Like
zero panic there.
Yeah, no panic. Just knows how much time's on the clock. Make sure that he collects the puck and makes a nice little pass right on Morgan Riley's tape. Goal. Love that play from OEL. Like his play a lot recently. And yeah, good momentum for those two, like you said, going to the break.
Yeah. And it's nice to see his parents. You and I, buddy, suckers for parent clip. The parent shots are our favorite. It's nice to see. So
it's a real reminder that they are just still playing a kid's game, though.
Yeah.
Like,
yes, son. Way to go, son.
Yeah. It's like Morgan Riley has a kid. He's in his 30s. It's like his parents are still there. Like, that's our boy. That's our little boy out there skating around, playing hockey.
I really hope those big mean Vancouver fans weren't mean to them there. I hope they weren't like catching any vitriol from those big meanies. Okay. Do you have any more big picture stuff from the game?
Don't know. I'll just pull up the notes. I don't think so. Oh, I was going to ask you why you think the Leafs can't win this game.
Never
like,
win this
they
game.
haven't won there since 2019.
They never win it. They just don't win it. It's just one of those ones that's like, I don't know if this is true. If at the end of the trip this time, I don't know how often it's at the end of the trip. I'd have to go back and look at that. That feels like something that's a lot of work for maybe not a ton of payoff. But I don't know if it's the end of work. It's the end of the trip. If they're tired or the Canucks have been good. Suddenly, I don't know. They just own them. They own them in that building. And I know it just makes the Vancouver fans so happy. Good for them. I know that it's a really, really important thing to them. This is something that, we don't think about too much after this happens. It's like, anyone, but they think about this all year. So good for them. They win it. They can go to sleep at night in their little rain-soaked house, wearing their Lululemon and drinking their Starbucks. They can enjoy that.
What's your grouse grind time? There's just nothing going on.
Hey, you want to go for a jog on the seawall and then have a kale smoothie? Yeah.
A bunch of people that are like truly unhappy. Like, just
seen
bitter.
The sun in months.
I saw our guys, Halford and Bruff, reply to our compliments. I'm like, that's your vintage comparison with Ontario versus Vancouver. It's like, two happy Ontario guys pay a compliment. We're like, hey, good guys out there. They're doing well. And then those guys, they're little, ew, we're so tired. We got to wake up in the morning in bitter cold Vancouver. Moo cow or whatever their dorky thing that they do on that show is like sick reference going back to Simpsons 100 years ago. Dorks. It's just embarrassing. But anyways, they're just bitter. It's bitter Vancouver guys. Classic.
Listen,
look at their Twitter. They're every single thing is like, wow, I'm really surprised that your guys' dressing room fell apart in Vancouver. Who could have ever guessed that the fans that hate everything and are miserable all the time would have some kind of an impact on their team and they would feed off those vibes? Like, what a shocker. What a surprise.
Yeah. I watched they bring out their owner, right? Aquilini.
Yeah, boom.
And I guess they hate him. Like, I don't know, like the history. Like I think they used to hate it because he wouldn't actually fully rebuild and he wanted to play off gates and he wanted like them to like make win now moves and all this stuff. And it's just like, they all hate him out there. Of course they hate him. Like he's adjacent to the hockey team. So they hate his guts.
It's about Invictus games.
Yeah.
And like this guy's sharing something awesome and the fans still boo. It's just such a bad fan base.
Dude, imagine pouring hundreds of millions of dollars into a hockey team. And you're like, your one moment, you bring the Invictus games. You get to walk out you got Prince Harry walking out the red carpet. Be more bitter. It's amazing. Like, good Lord. And like, you were mentioning how, you would rather go to Calgary or rather go to Edmonton on this trip. I can promise you that the fans of Vancouver were by far the worst to Leaf fans. Like, I did that game once, and I've never heard vitriol like that at any sporting event. I've been to the south side of Chicago for a Jays game. I've been in the heat in Detroit. I've been to all like greasy places, and I've never heard anything like I've heard in Vancouver. Hey, buddy. Truly vile stuff. So like,
there's a reason why they're the city that tried to burn it to the ground when they lost. Like, it's not a surprise that they're the ones. Okay, like.
Anyways,
people don't forget.
Congrats on the win there, guys. Congrats on the win.
Exactly. Congrats on the Vancouver Super Bowl. All right. Anything else from the game? Any rapid fire stuff?
Not a ton. I'm looking towards this break here, and I
got Four Nation thought.
I know. Well, I do too. And you were texting me about it, and this is something that we've been talking about a lot, you and I, and the Logan Thompson stuff, and Valley coming on our show. I don't know if you saw the clip where he's just like, it wasn't going to happen and all this different stuff with Logan Thompson. Like, our goalies actually kind of stink. Like, they're not just like average NHL goalies. They are below average NHL goalies who have been bad for quite some time. Binnington's brutal tonight. Aiden Hill's been no good. Montembeault gets 5-shot past him every night. It's a problem. And this is going to rear its head. Like you talk about, their decor, Canada's decor is so good and it's not going to matter who's in net. It's going to matter. This is a problem.
Well, I think the bigger problem for me is that it's clearly political.
Yep.
Like, and that's
political, yeah.
That's the issue, and that's been the issue with Canada hockey for like quite some time. Like, it works when we're the unquestionable best team on the planet.
Yeah.
And there's a clear divide between us and the rest of the world. But the thing about this Four Nations tournament is it's going to showcase that the other teams are close to Canada now. Like, this isn't what we left it at in 2014 in Sochi, where Canada, you couldn't even score a goal on them. And the biggest area, the biggest area of it's not only catching up, it's surpassing has been in net. And Team Canada decided to go political in net. They left home the 3 best goaltenders by far.
Yeah.
And they're going to probably start
Blackwood, Talbot, and Logan Thompson, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And Logan Thompson specifically, where it's like Team Canada didn't even give him a call to say if there's an injury, we're going to give you an opportunity here. Like, that's how bitter this stuff is and how embarrassing this stuff is. And I can't get over it because, the Olympics are coming up. And if you don't think this tournament matters, like I said, wait until Canada's playing the United States and you tell me that you don't care during that game. Like, you sit across from me as a real Canadian hockey fan. I made sure, so I'm flying out. I made sure that my flight is at a time where I can see the first Canada game. Like, I have this like ridiculously horrific layover in New Jersey of all places, but I had to do it so that I had a flight where I wasn't going to miss any of this Canada game. I'm going to miss the USA game.
Flight?
I play at 8:00.
Okay. So you're arriving somewhere at 8 p.m.?
I'm arriving at 7:45 in New Jersey.
Wow.
So I can watch the game in a New Jersey airport bar.
Wow. I'm sure. Hopefully there's no college basketball on.
No, it doesn't matter. I'll get it on. I already looked up the network and everything. Like, I'm prepared. I'm prepared. And buddy, you know me. Like, I'm not exactly Mr. Quiet who's just going to sit there and be like,
no bother.
Yeah.
No, you'll get it done.
I'll keep moving around until I find.
You're not seeing Canada USA, eh?
No, I'm at a wedding on Saturday. There's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, I got big plans. I got Saturday night off. Canada USA, like I got to round up, got to get the conch out. That's a big time going out night.
I'm so angry. Like, you and I kicked around the idea of doing Canada talk.
Yeah.
And I was like, why would I do that? I get an opportunity to actually like be a fan and watch the games and like have some beers. I'm not doing Canada talk. Like, sorry, you get 82 of these games.
I wouldn't mind doing Canada talk.
I will not. You can get a co-host. I won't care. Like, you can do it with somebody else. I'm going to be watching with having beers. Like, if Canada's in the finals, there's 0% chance that I'm doing extra work instead of having pops and watching hockey like a good Canadian. Like, duh. For money, for like lots of money, but not for, we should do it for the fans. No, eat it. Like, I
love our fans. I
love them too, but we get
record. I would do it, fans. I'm not the meanie.
Yeah, you're a sweetie pie. You would do it. You would do it. You're, that word. that we use.
Sweetie pie. Yeah, nice guy.
What's the other one?
The word we use? Nice guy? Yeah, that's me. You're the big
chair one.
Which one?
Hotel chair.
You dirty dog.
Yeah, anyways, this is getting a little slippery, so we should probably get out of here.
I got one last thing. There was a single game NHL record set tonight. I don't know if you knew this or not. But congratulations to Nick Robertson, who spent the most time lying on the ice in the history of an NHL in a single game. It was an incredible achievement for number 89 on the Leafs. So proud of him. He worked really, really hard for this, and he achieved it. So congratulations to Nick Robertson.
I still think Bunting has the record.
No way. Tonight's the single game record.
Yeah,
it was 4 times. It was 4 or 5 times at least he fell.
Well, especially I felt like I know that one. So I had just mentioned on last Leafs Talk that the only reason that people are saying that he's more noticeable lately is because he's staying on his feet. And then he betrays me by falling down.
Like, that one, he didn't even get touched. He just twists down. And like, the refs aren't even, he's got such a bad fall down reputation. The refs won't even look at him.
No.
They're just like, that guy just falls down. All he does is fall down. Like, they have before, when they're doing like their pregame, like little, dork meeting, the refs, where they're like, hey guys, let's have a good game out there. They're like, 89 and white falls. He falls. So be careful. Keep your eyes on him for sure. Cause he's going to fall a lot. Don't get tricked by him. And then after the game, when they do their little beers, when you see that clip of them like cheersing and saying good game, when they're having their pregame, yeah, me too. They're guys too. They're just
guys being dudes.
And they're just like, good game tonight, boys. No one fell for 89 tonight. Good job, fellas. Like, he is a conversation. It's unbelievable.
So we have one comment from somebody that's like, Bunkus never respects the Canucks. I mean, like, I don't know what you want me to respect about the Canucks, but I will say this. I thought for all the smoke that's on Elias Pettersson right now, and the noise that's around him and whether or not he's going to get traded and
Yeah.
He's playing Toronto on Hockey Night in Canada, and he came out like a house on fire. Like, he was noticeably the best star in this game, especially early on. I thought he faded, but I thought that was actually like a pretty good moment for a guy that has shrunk in big moments and was like basically the whipping boy in the playoffs last year. There's a lot of discussion about how the Canucks dressing room felt after JT Miller's departure and whether or not they felt it was the right guy that left. And I went, you know what? Good for him tonight, because, you know, that could have gone the other way in a big spot. And I don't think he allowed it. Beautiful cross seam pass on the first goal. Like,
he's fine. He's fine.
He played well.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
I don't know. He played 18 minutes. He had a good pass. He ran into like he makes $11.6 million. I thought he's fine. Should have traded him 100%. Kept JT Miller.
I think they still will trade him.
They should trade him. I think, like, if anyone, like, I would, if I'm on an NHL team and you're like, here's Elias Pettersson, I'd be like, yeah, can I have a second round pick to take that contract? Like, that's a crazy contract.
I would. I said it on my show already, but all I'd be doing if I was them is going to Quinn Hughes and saying, what do you want us to do?
What do you want? Anything,
because we can't lose you. You're a one of one NHL unicorn.
Yes.
And so whatever will make you happy, we'll let you be the LeBron of our team. Like, you're the GM. Tell us what to do. You want us to keep Pettersson? Cool. We'll keep him. You want us to move him out and restart this thing? Then we'll do that too. Like, you just be the leader here, because we do not want to make you unhappy. And we do not want a situation where you're asking to go play with your brothers.
Yeah. Just the Vancouver Quins. But yeah, no, good for him. He played good. He makes $11.6 million. It's about time.
Yeah.
Congrats,
anyway, all right. Let's wrap this up.
I clearly don't respect the Canucks.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know. I've told you I disrespect Vancouver's fans.
If we're doing respect Canucks talk, I thought that Drew O'Connor was really noticeable tonight.
Yeah,
and so is Hedl. Hedl's flying around too.
Yeah, I liked your Hedl comparison though.
Andre Kasha, he flies into everything head first.
Yeah,
he's just flying fast as he can, head down into everything. So hopefully stays healthy for them, because he's a good addition.
All right, subscribe to this podcast. Please leave 5 stars. We do love you, but I'm just not doing Canada talk. Like, none of you would do it. Like, actually, some of you probably would do it.
I'll do Sammy Cowherd. I'll just do it by myself. Sad if they lose. Drunk.
yeah, you'll do it if you don't have to sacrifice the beers. Okay, yeah, I'll do that too. Sportsnet signs off on that. Like, subscription drunken feed from the bar. Then yeah, okay, I'll do that. Either way, go Canada, go. Prove that we're still number one. Just run that Terry Fox commercial in the dressing room. Fired up, and then
trigger warning. The tears, boys. I gotta get the Kleenex box ready. Anything Terry Fox, as you know, immediately turns me into a puddle. That commercial was maybe the greatest commercial of all time.
Yeah, but there's nothing that makes me feel more Canadian than Terry Fox. Like, nothing gets me more charged up about being Canadian than Terry Fox.
Yes,
like truly, it is the number. It's like the smelling salts for me. Of like, I'm like, I don't know how I'm feeling about the country right now. And then they're like, here's a Terry Fox thing. I'm like, yeah, exactly. So anything Terry Fox, give it to the boys. Go Canada, go.
Win the Super Bowl tomorrow.
I mean, I said my take on my show. Go listen to my other podcast.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I did all my props. No, I think the Chiefs are going to win, but I feel like the Eagles, it's going to either be squeaky Chiefs win or blowout for the Eagles. Yeah.
I think squeaky Chiefs win.
Yeah, I think so too. That's what I'm putting my money on. So,
all right. We'll see you tomorrow, buddy.
Yeah. See you at the game, or we'll see you at the Super Bowl party. And then, for all of you that have been watching, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Go Canada, go.
The 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid is here, and it may sound too good to be true. With a 2-liter 4-cylinder backed by 2 electric motors, giving a combined 200 horsepower, it's our most powerful and fuel-efficient Civic ever. Plus, with an estimated range of over 800 kilometers and available features like a Bose premium sound system, your crew will love it too. Maybe it should be called the Civic 2.0. Redefine your drive with the 2025 Civic Hybrid. Visit your Ontario Honda dealer and test drive yours today.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists? The company that does things for you that are unheard of.
Cheers, insiders and football fans all over the world. This is Joe Bowen. Hall of Fame voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and, more importantly under these circumstances, a huge football fan of the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Well, we want to thank you for hanging out with us and cheering on your favorite team during the SickKids Football Frenzy campaign here on TSI, where we make a real-world difference in our Toronto community. Now, I'm sure you're all wondering how you are making a difference. Well, a percentage of revenue from every single game will be donated directly to SickKids Hospital, as we have raised over $6,500 in just 8 months. SickKids has impacted my life, and I'm sure the lives of countless families in the Toronto area, and I know probably a number of yours as well. Please check out the link that is pinned in the chat or in the description and donate if you are able. Let's show the power of community of sports fans making a difference. One of the best ways to increase the amount of the donation is to share the link of this YouTube live stream on social media to help bring more football fans to our amazing community, changing the world one insider at a time. We'll see you in the chat. And holy Mackinac, thank you for helping us raise money for SickKids Hospital as we heal the future.
DMX One Step 2.0 can be used under most vinyl or laminate floors, so whatever you choose, you know your investment will be protected. DMX One Step 2.0. No mold, no cold. Find it at the Home Depot in Rona.
What a tackle. Let's go to the sidelines.
You're in the zone today, Matt. Really on your game.
Yeah. Getting more sleep? Not snoring all night? What a huge difference it can make.
Problem snoring? Suffer from sleep apnea? Invest in yourself. Call Dr. Paulette Pillersdorf. She'll use her laser to help treat your snoring and oral appliance like a sports mouth guard for your sleep apnea. Your partner will thank you.
Thanks, Matt. Book your appointment with Dr. Paulette Pillersdorf. Call 647-243-2006.
Wealthsimple's Big Winter Bundle is our best match offer yet. Get a 2% match when you transfer over an eligible RRSP. For a $50,000 transfer, that's a $1,000 cash bonus. Enough to buy a fancy parka. A ticket to somewhere you don't need a fancy parka. Or just be responsible and top up your retirement fund. Plus, move any other eligible account and we'll give you a 1% match. Minimum $15,000 transfer. Register by March 15th. Additional terms apply. Learn more at wealthsimple.com/match.
You built your business from the ground up. Now let Rogers Sports and Media take it to new heights. Book your next radio or podcast advertising campaign with Rogers Sports and Media Ad Manager. Designed for businesses of all sizes. RSM Ad Manager is self-serve and simple to use. We'll even give you a $250 ad credit to build your first campaign today. And your audio can be produced at no extra cost. Visit grow.rogersportsandmedia.com to claim your ad credit today.
This February on Sportsnet, Best on Best International Hockey is back.
We've been